p.m. here tonight, and we are tracking a tornado-warned storm now. Tornado warning in effect, and this is going to be extreme northern portions of Sangamon County. You've got Logan County here, and you have portions of Menard County there finding this new tornado warning that just got issued. So Logan, Macon, Menard, Sangamon County. We've got this little area. It's right here, right on the leading edge. And what you're going to be able to kind of see is this little area that kind of sticks out just a little bit right there. That is the area where there's a little bit of rotation. And even possibly we were kind of looking at some of the radar where maybe we had a little bit of a debris signature, but it's right there. So when we're kind of looking at things, this is well north of Springfield, okay? This won't impact the city of Springfield, but is going to hug right along the county line there, Sangamon County line into Logan County there, and then we'll eventually kind of be coming into the southwestern corner there from near Elkhart. You can see cornland there, right in the middle of that tornado warning polygon. So that is the concern that we've got here. When we look at things on our velocity scan, there's just a little bit of that rotation that is kind of showing up. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at. And again, in some of the more recent kind of scans, we had that little area there where that rotation was kind of being picked up. And when we actually even looked at the tornado debris signature, there's just a small little area that we were kind of looking at to see, well, does that look like there might be something there? It's definitely close to the location that it would have to be in if you did have something. So this is a tornado warning in effect here. And the polygon that you see, that is in that red color. There it is. Tornado warning, Logan, Macon, Menard, and Sangamon County. The storm here from the National Weather Service indicating that tornado is actually moving to the east at about 50 miles an hour. Now, this was some radar indicated rotation, so it has not been confirmed, but we're looking at it on radar and saying, all right, that looks to be a little something right there. Looks like they've also just gone ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's kind of popping up on your screen for a good chunk of the rest of Logan County and into DeWitt County now up through McLean County, where we've got severe thunderstorm warnings. So you've got kind of that big area up there to take into account kind of the northern portion of that line that's coming through. And then we've got this little area here, this smaller kind of spin up, and that's kind of the nature of these storms. You get more of kind of a spin up where a tornado could form. And as I'm looking at it on radar, it's not the strongest thing ever. But just enough where there might be something in there. Now, if you're up near the Williamsville area, I would be taking shelter if you're up in the Williamsville area. Here in just a moment, what is going to happen is Jacob is actually out there in the storm tracker, and you can see him on the bottom part of your screen there. Okay, we're going to be looking at our cameras here, some of our various weather cameras there, going to be on the top right part of your screen. But what we're doing here is watching this storm as it begins to move in. And as I mentioned, Jacob is out there in the storm tracker with us. He is going to be getting very close to this storm before too long, and he'll have a little bit of a better view of what this storm is doing as he is out there here on our storm here tonight. So, Jacob, you're traveling down 55 there. I'm guessing you're kind of near the Broadwell area. Tell us kind of what your plan is there as you head southwest.
Off at the Elkhart exit here in a couple of miles, and we're going to kind of snake our way towards Lake Fork and Mount Pulaski. Just a little interesting spot there, again, northwest of Sherman heading towards Williamsville, and there was a just maybe a brief little drop in the debris signature popping up there. We'll have to analyze that more tomorrow. But, these are the types of storms that they can spin up pretty quickly, and they can, produce these brief tornadoes. And this is a favorable area. The round one left a boundary here. Oh, in fact, power flashes in front of me, Kevin. I just had power flashes straight in front of me towards Williamsville. And so I'm going to be watching that a little bit closer here. Straight in front of me, actually, Kevin. We'll see if we can zoom in there. I think we should treat this as if it's a tornado on the ground, just to be safe, because they can spin up more power flashes up there, Kevin. Have you been able to see any of them? They're
Yep.
in the distance a little bit, but
Yep. Definitely.
seeing them there about straight ahead.
Seeing them straight ahead there on the bottom kind of part of your screen. Your camera's kind of drifted just a little bit there, but you're seeing the flashes there. So it's going to be, you've got lightning, obviously, and that's going to be up more, higher in the sky, but lower on the closer to the surface and the ground there. Definitely we're seeing some of those flashes, and that would be very close to where some of that would be. So you can see it right there, right there on the bottom part. Yep, there it is again. So I think there's a good chance that we've got a tornado here, folks. We're seeing that. So that's going to be probably just west of Williamsville, I'm guessing. So again, we're watching Jacob Schott there as he's traveling down I-55. If we can, I also want to show the radar here real quick, just to kind of show you, Jacob's position of exactly where he is located, and then in relation to where those power flashes are. So that's Jacob right there. He's coming into that tornado warning near Elkhart now, and so where that rotation is directly there. It's going to be just west of Williamsville by, let's see here. That's going to be by about 4 or 5 miles. That's the new updated scan. It's probably about 2 to 3 miles west of Williamsville now is where we've got the rotation on that. Jacob, again, seeing some of those power flashes. I think we've got a tornado that actually could be in progress now as we're starting to see some of that.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me still?
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, there's some sort of very narrow lowering that's in that area. Still seeing more power flashes out there now. It's going to be to the left of me. I'm going to get off at Elkhart, but I believe this is a tornado on the ground very close to Williamsville. I can see when the flashes happen, a very narrow funnel-like feature, which gives me a good confidence that this is a tornado now in the Williamsville area. Getting off at Elkhart, Kevin, we're going to get through town, and we'll report back to you anything else we see. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, so again, Jacob is there. He is tracking the storm, and it does look like, again, we are getting some of those signs of rotation. We're seeing some of those power flashes showing up there on his shot. It definitely kind of looked like it. Go back to Jacob there. If we can, go back to Jacob.
Yeah, there, more
Jacob?
right there in front. I'm pulling up here. Kevin, I'm pulling up here. Lots of power flashes. This may be going through a populated area here. We're going to sit and have a view as it passes to the south. So just kind of keeping my view where that is. Lots of power flashes earlier there. So we'll see if there's any more that pop up. But consider this a confirmed tornado at this point, Kevin. I'm going to get a report to the NWS, let you take over. But you're looking right where I've seen those power flashes.
Okay, so you're in Elkhart, right? And you're looking basically back there towards Williamsville, and to the kind of south and west there. And so that storm is in. This thing's going to be over I-55 here before too long, too. You can see on the bottom right part of his screen there what looks to be some of those potential power flash. It's kind of where that tower is. See that those flashing lights where the tower is. That's where we saw some of the more recent. Okay, so now we've got another tornado warning here that is, they're saying, observed down into Springfield. Okay, so Riverton here. Yeah, okay. So we've got a few different areas that we're kind of looking at here, folks. And so we've got Riverton now. Riverton observed tornado that's showing up here. So we're looking at a couple different areas. So we've got one now also showing up here near Sherman, or I should say south and east of Sherman and near Riverton. So new tornado warning in effect for parts of Christian. Let's see here. Tornado warning here for Logan, Christian, Sangamon, and Macon County. Just issued here. Storm's going to be right near the Riverton area, and we're seeing that here on radar. Take a look at this. We're going to wait for the updated scan to come across. But we've got a few different areas where there actually could be a tornado. There's one just south of Williamsville, but there's also kind of a secondary area that's going to be coming right into Riverton right now, folks. So if you're in Riverton, you need to be taking shelter immediately on this storm here. So trying to pinpoint both of these. There's kind of two areas here. So I want to show you. So we've got
Hey,
one.
Kevin, are you able to hear me by chance?
Yeah, Jacob, go ahead.
Hey, there's probably some folks watching. The State FFA Convention is in the Springfield area right now, and that's got students from lots of schools in the areas. So I know they're always very in tune with the weather there, and probably this time of night and hotels and things of that. But it's moving quickly past Springfield, but just wanted to give you an update on that. That a lot of folks watching may have kids in high school that are in the Springfield area here, and we continue to see those power flashes. I'm losing sight of it now. I'm gonna have to reposition, but just wanted to put that bug in your ear now, Kevin. Is the couple areas of spin showing up there? Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, there's two areas here, folks. We've actually got two potential tornadoes, and I think the one that Jacob was seeing was probably this northern one, because he's up here into Logan County. So this new warning that's in effect down here is the one that's coming into basically Riverton. Dawson, need to be taking shelter. If you're in Riverton, this thing is almost on top of you. So two areas that we're seeing where things are kind of rotating a bit here, and concern is there. I'm seeing two distinct areas where we could have a tornado right now. Two spots, folks. So I need you to be in your tornado safe spot right now, lowest level. I'm going to show you so we've got Riverton here. We've talked about you. It's going to be just passing Clear Lake. The updated scan is going to start to put this thing over Riverton and Dawson. If you're in Riverton and Dawson, anywhere basically running along I-72 and then over Route 36 there, this thing is just kind of chugging right along into these. So right here, folks. And that's where we have the observed showing up. But there's this other one here this is sticking out to me just south of Williamsville, folks. If you're in Williamsville, you need to be taking shelter immediately. So we've got Williamsville here in the far northern portion of Sangamon County. And it looks like we've got possibly a third area here that we're looking at with a new tornado warning that's on effect for portions of DeWitt and Logan County. So now there's a third area. Folks, this is rapidly just becoming a big time event here now as we're looking at a third. And this is going to be this is going to be over the Weather Service. This is going to be kind of over close to our friends at the Weather Service there, and just maybe kind of south there where the radar is located. So I've got three areas here that we're watching. I want to talk about the most concerning ones, one that just kind of came through near Riverton. And now that's going to be bearing down on the Dawson area. Definitely seeing some of that rotation right along I-72. I think this thing is parked along I-72 right now. That would not be a place to be right along I-72. There's Dawson. You need to be in your tornado safe spot anywhere along I-72 between Riverton to Dawson, down the line, Buffalo. Be paying attention here, okay? So we've got these little areas right on the leading edge, just a little bit of rotation that's showing up here. And this is a little concerning here to us, folks. This storm has strengthened. And then I'm trying to show you all of these here, guys, because we've got two of them right now. And I think the one that Jake was kind of looking at was this one that's now kind of southeast of Williamsville. We've got this secondary one here that is now going to be just basically southeast of Riverton and then tracking right along I-72. And then possibly even a third one that is going to be up here, almost kind of sitting over the radar site near Chestervale, where there's also additional rotation showing up. So 3 spots here, folks. Widen the picture out here so you can kind of see things where you are if you're watching in Champaign or Decatur. I mean, that warning box goes out there all the way into Macon County. You know, sirens might be going off there, but you still got a little bit of time for this storm gets to you. But, I mean, this thing, listen, 15, 20 minutes ago, myself and Jake were sitting here just kind of watching the storms and saying, well, are we going to get anything out of this? Is, you know, something going to happen? Well, now we're definitely seeing some of that happening as we speak. 2 areas of rotation on radar. You're looking at them there. Let me point them out to you once again. Yeah, Jacob, go ahead.
Hey, what's that new one? Where's that one that's by the Lincoln, the DeWitt, Logan County one?
Yeah.
Is that one to my left? There's something that's low over there. It's hard to see because the rain's kind of cutting me off, but I kind of been glancing as I can, and I'm kind of in the middle of it all here. We showed folks those power flashes live on TV from Elkhart to the south and east, and this has really escalated pretty quickly. So can you give me a little guidance, Kevin? My thought is get to Mount Pulaski and then southeastern 121, but you know, I'm focusing on driving here. Give me a little thought on what you think my next steps should be with these circulations all around me essentially right now, Kevin.
Yeah, you got a lot of circulations kind of hanging out near where you are. I will say this. So you're basically between Elkhart and Mount Pulaski. Right now, I will say that the signature up near Lincoln is not, or south of Lincoln is not showing up as much. Definitely the storm near Riverton.
Do I have time to drop to Illiopolis?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say
I'll be heading to Illiopolis.
Yeah, I would maybe head just a tiny bit south there. They're kind of trying to update the warning boxes here, and because a lot happened in a short amount of time. So what we've got here this is your classic, you know, kind of QLCS squall line with embedded circulations on the leading edge of it. And we're starting to see it here. If you're in Buffalo now, okay, Dawson and Buffalo, that storm just kind of starting to bear down on you. Does look like our tornado warning for portions of eastern Sangamon County. That thing's basically, I mean, this thing is dead center, almost I-72, like dead center I-72 and moving to the east. So Dawson, Buffalo, Lanesville area, Illiopolis, Niantic, kind of down the line, be paying attention. And then that secondary one we were talking about up there, which is now basically southeast of Williamsville. And that's going to be crossing over Highway 54 that comes there out of Logan County. So, and almost those 2 little areas might be converging a little bit. It's really, really kind of tough to kind of pick some of it out. So you've got pretty much here near Dawson, and then almost another one here north of Dawson, as those 2 have kind of gotten a little bit closer. So speed on these is moving east at 50. Yeah, we've got 50 miles an hour, 45 to 50 miles an hour on the storms here. Yeah, I will say this.
Is there something north of Mount Pulaski?
North of Mount Pulaski, I am. Yeah, there could be.
There was some flash close to the ground. I can't explain what it was, Kevin. There was a flash that caught my eye to the left there, and I was like, I don't think that was lightning.
Yeah, I tell you, it is kind of messy here on the radar, being as close as it is. But yeah, I know you're getting a lot of lightning out there on those storms too, and trying to differentiate. Okay, am I looking at a power flash? Am I looking at just the lightning there? We definitely saw some of those, I think, earlier when you were looking from Elkhart, kind of looking southwest there towards Williamsville. But right now, tornado warnings continuing. If you're in anywhere along I-72, basically between Dawson and Illiopolis to Niantic being your tornado safe spot, you've got cornland right there on the Logan-Sangamon County line with the kind of a secondary area. Again,
Damage in Riverton.
yeah, the radar looked pretty good when that storm was coming through Riverton. The radar signature looked the best there near Riverton. So I would not be surprised if there is some damage over there when those storms came through. I'm just going to back the radar up just a tad bit because look how different. See that little, we call that kind of the front end nub, and that's what you look for is right there. You see almost just kind of a little slot right there, and this area right here that passed right over Riverton about 13 minutes ago. Okay, so that was the next scan that came across. And wouldn't be surprised if possibly we had a tornado roll through and near the Riverton area. We're going to try to gather up some more information on this. This is the newest scan. Buffalo, Mechanicsburg. Be in your tornado safe spot. Buffalo, Mechanicsburg. That rotation is literally sitting right on top of you, maybe just kind of south of I-72. But the Buffalo, from Buffalo down to Mechanicsburg, and then eventually down the line, be paying attention to Illiopolis, be paying attention, between Mount Auburn and Niantic, as this has been the most impressive looking storm this entire time. To kind of show you again that warning box that goes all the way into Macon County. We still got a little bit of time here, but again, this has been the storm that has been producing what looks to be some of the best rotation on the storms. Again, folks, we are tracking severe weather. It is 11:24 p.m. here on this Wednesday night. We've got kind of 3 areas we're watching, a lot of different counties with warnings at this point. And I know it looks kind of messy here on radar. We're doing our best to kind of try to pinpoint exactly where some of that rotation would be. You can see that storm that's right over the Lincoln Doppler radar. Kind of a messy picture. You get that when the storms go right over the radar. So tough to kind of pinpoint anything specific. But I still got to tell you, I think the storms coming right there between Dawson, Mechanicsburg, and Buffalo are the ones that I have the highest concern about here. I think Mechanicsburg, there might be a tornado rolling right there close to Mechanicsburg, folks. If you're in Mechanicsburg, this might be the real deal here. This thing is looking as strong as I've seen it in terms of rotational components, and we might even start to see a little bit of a debris signature maybe starting to show up there, folks. Mechanicsburg, tornado safe spot right now. Confirmation there. We have confirmed tornado. Here's your rotation on it. It's pretty clear, folks. This could be a bad situation if you're in Mechanicsburg. Please, tornado safe spot immediately. We're seeing that, and when we look at our tornado debris signature, watch this, folks. There's a little bit of a drop. See this little bit of a drop right here, just west of Mechanicsburg. That is what we call our correlation coefficient. We label it debris tracker. Essentially, it's telling us, well, it does look like that, maybe the radar is picking up on an object that would not be the uniform raindrop or a hailstone. It looks like something a little bit different. So we're kind of concerned there. Mechanicsburg, tornado could be rolling through as we speak. Get to your tornado safe spot immediately, as that storm is coming right through town. It's gonna pass between Illiopolis and Mount Auburn is what we're looking at here. You can see there, Buffalo, Lanesville. You guys are kind of on the northern edge of this, but right now it looks like the tornadic part of the storm, and it's kind of wobbling a bit. I got to be honest with you, it's kind of wobbling here. There might be even another circulation that's trying to develop west of Illiopolis. On that, it's we're kind of looking at it here. I tell you, there's going to be some strong winds. Strong winds just rolled through Buffalo. But when we look at this from a velocity kind of standpoint, we're kind of looking at a couple different areas there that we're seeing at least some strong damaging winds, definitely. But this thing's trying to tighten up a little bit more. All right, folks, getting reports, power pole blown down, tree branches down North 5th Street in Springfield. Again, we're watching the storm here carefully. This thing is starting to pick up on its speed a little bit, but I think you've got some really strong winds that are either kind of passing through Mechanicsburg, Buffalo area, and possibly, right there and along I-72. Jacob, what's your what? Okay, that's all right. We're gonna go to Jacob here in just a little bit as he kind of repositions his location, but just kind of give you guys kind of the wide view of things. We've got maybe not the typical kind of radar view that you get. You look at that, you go, well, is there something there or not? Well, the way things are looking here, we might, we definitely could have some rotation. Yeah, there's Jacob there with us now.
Hey, so I decided to go down to Latham to cut to Niantic to give me a little extra distance, but I think we've got two potential circulations now north of me. One right east of Mount Pulaski, and when I get to Niantic, I might take a peek up there. That's a strong circulation. Another one coming up 54 into southwestern DeWitt County. Kenny, Tunbridge, watching for you too. This has escalated so quickly, and maybe even further south, Edinburgh. There could be something developing in northern Christian County. Suddenly, Kevin, we're talking about the whole line is spinning here on this leading edge, and so watching that. Just got my new tornado warning here for this storm here, Kevin. I'm going to get to Niantic. We'll check in with you in 2 minutes. Take a look to the north, and then we're going to head south to I-72. Live at the Storm Tracker, I'm Jacob Dickey, southeast of Mount Pulaski. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, we have got just a ton of things happening here. A lot happening here, folks. All right. Let's try to catch your breath here, kind of look at everything. There is a new tornado warning. In effect, northern Macon, yes, this goes all the way into Piatt County here. The circulations on these are going to be kind of right there at the leading edge. We're going to try to find exactly where some of these are by looking at our velocity signatures. So we've got something here that's showing up there just north of Latham. That's going to be this little pocket here, right here. Okay, folks? So tornado warning in effect because of this area right here, just north of Latham. Little circulation showing up there. Okay, so that's our newest one, the new warning that just got issued. Okay, we are watching some of these areas up here into DeWitt County as well. That one's going to be up here basically near Kinney in the Tunbridge area. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. We're back down here on the storm that is near Lanesville now, right along Route 36 and I-72. Kind of a third circulation. So 1, 2, we've counted 3 of them now. Okay, so I'm trying to show you all 3. We've got 1, 2, 3. 3 possible tornadoes happening right now. If you are in, and I'm just going to start naming off some specific cities, Illiopolis, Niantic, tornado safe spot immediately. Get down there. I'll even say Mount Auburn just in case there, but that thing's going to run basically just south of Illiopolis, real close to Illiopolis and Niantic, down the line maybe Harristown. Okay, that's one area that I'm concerned about. Then we're back up here, Latham. You need to be in your tornado safe spot. The warning polygon, actually, they've kind of moved it a little southeast as it's taking a little bit more erratic motion. So the warning does include parts of Maroa and Forsyth. So you guys just kind of be paying attention. And then with our most northern storm there, Kinney. All right, Kinney, basically, kind of rural portions there of southern DeWitt County. We're watching these 3 different areas of concern. I know we're trying to keep up with all of the storms that are happening here at this time, but what we're doing here is trying to give you guys just a little bit of an understanding of these 3 spots. And here we are. I'm just kind of trying to draw the little icons showing them. 3 potential tornadoes happening here right now. A lot of wind in there too. I will say, if there's not a tornado, there are definitely some strong winds. So strong winds there just south of Kinney, north of Latham. Strong winds there showing up on our storm basically between Illiopolis and Mechanicsburg. just northwest of Mount Auburn. All right, folks, here we go. Let's bring it back over to the reflectivity view. Let's widen things kind of back out to give you that full picture. We just named all the areas where you should be taking shelter. This is what things are looking like here, and just a huge severe thunderstorm warning box with a tornado possible tag associated with it. So this does include Sullivan, includes parts of Shelby County and all of Macon County. Nothing in Champaign County just yet. 3 areas of concern. You can see the storm up there into DeWitt County. They've dropped the tornado warning that was up there, but I got to tell you, if you're near Maroa, west of Maroa, south of Kinney, I'd be paying attention. Right now, though, if I look at this, I think the best circulation is going to be on our storm right here near Illiopolis. Please take shelter right now between Illiopolis and Mount Auburn. Best signatures that we're starting to see here on radar yet. This is a very dangerous situation. If you are in Illiopolis, if you are between Illiopolis, Mount Auburn, the rotation on our storm here is picking up significantly. We might have an ongoing tornado. This is that last check was a confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service. We're also watching some of those circulations down into Christian County. Multiple power lines down Mechanicsburg. Multiple power lines down in Mechanicsburg as this potential tornado just rolled through. So this thing is doing damage here, folks. Multiple tornadoes as the storm, multiple power lines down in Sangamon County, Mechanicsburg area as this just came through. Lanesville, tornado safe spot. Illiopolis, it is about to be on top of you folks there. Anywhere along I-72 and Old Route 36. Folks, right here, this is the real deal. This is a really strong signature kind of showing up here on radar. You need to be in the lowest level of your home, center part of your house. You know, basement obviously is best. If not, closet, bathroom, center, lowest, no windows. I'm concerned about our storm here, folks, that is riding right along I-72 right now and producing those signatures that are ones we don't like to see. Now, what I'm gonna start to look for is, see if we find any of those tornado debris signatures that would help us kind of, pinpoint exactly where some of that is.
Just now.
And again, the storm that we're watching here to the north, Latham area, I think we've definitely either got some strong winds or a potential tornado there. Again, we've got the tornado warning that is in effect. Jacob was just mentioning that he thinks he's seeing some power flashes possibly on that storm, basically north of Latham. And that would kind of line up with where we're seeing some of the rotation on the storm and where some of those strongest winds would be. So again, when you look at this on radar, we've got 3 different areas here that we're looking at. I'm going to pinpoint them once again for you. We'll throw on here our little rotating markers. So right here, and boy, we just got a new updated radar scan. So let me go ahead and clear this off and kind of look at the new radar scan coming across. I got to tell you, strong winds, if nothing else, surging here, kind of on this leading edge of our storm that is between Illiopolis and Mount Auburn. If you're anywhere between Illiopolis and Mount Auburn, that's where the rotating part of that storm is located, right on the Christian and Sangamon County line, essentially. But now Niantic, Harristown, you guys be paying attention to this. And then we've got our other storm here to the north. We're definitely seeing some of those strong 2 areas here where we might have a tornado happening. We've got one area showing up right here, Warrensburg. The other one now is going to be kind of west of Maroa. So, boy, this thing has accelerated quickly and turned into a really active situation here, folks. And we're doing our best to kind of keep up with all of it. We've got Jacob that's out there in the storm tracker here with us as he's trying to kind of catch up to some of these storms. Let's see if we can't. What I'm going to do here is Bear with me for a second. We're going to pull up. There's Jacob right there. I'm going to pull up his location that is going to be showing up on your screen so we can actually kind of track where Jacob is. And so we'll come in here, and it looks like, Jacob, if my position has got you correct, are you west of Forsyth there and coming there into Macon County? If we've got Jacob there or not.
Kevin, I just lost you for a second. Let me get my IFB back on. I'm in Warrensburg right now. And Kevin, can you hear me just fine?
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm in Warrensburg now, and I am just moving to town. I've thought about it. I'm going to carry this right into the northwest side of Decatur, and I get I-72. I can either drop south or keep going to the east from there on that northwest side where that Love's Truck Stop is. There's been power flashes to my north. Now, it's more wrapped up in rain. I can't really see it very well, but there is clearly on radar a circulation just north of Warrensburg, and you're right about that Maroa one. Wow, that one by Illiopolis looks really intense. I am worried about what's going on to my north as well. I'm kind of in the middle of all these here. And then I think we need to start sounding the alarm for Decatur here, especially maybe downtown and to the south. I don't want to rule that out, but not just from these northern storms with Forsyth and Maroa, but then that other circulation maybe heading towards Decatur, Lake Decatur, things of that. I am getting messages about damage in the Springfield area. I've gotten a few photos and messages about that I've seen pop up. Also, I just saw a bull lowering behind me as I kind of peek back behind there, passing through Warrensburg. Something's going on back there. It's not as revealing as it was earlier when we saw multiple power flashes and showed you that tornado live on TV as the tornado warnings first came out, Kevin. Sometimes we get the views and sometimes we don't, but very suspicious about what's going on here in northern Macon County from all of these different storms, Kevin. We're going to get to the northwest side here, and it looks like they just popped a new tornado warning,
Yep.
Kevin, so we'll let you update folks on that. And then give me an idea. If you think, I kind of feel like maybe I need to head to the south side of Decatur, but I'm not going to see much with Maroa and Forsyth. I'm not wanting to leave that because I don't think it's a danger. I think that's a problem. I just think it's wrapped up in rain and not revealing itself very much, Kevin. So we'll send it back to you, Kevin, and I'll let you know if I see anything else.
Okay. We are currently monitoring. I'm trying to count them all up here. I think 3 to 4 different circulations and a new tornado warning just issued here. Parts of Christian, Shelby, and Moultrie and southern Macon County here. So there's, I know this looks kind of messy, a lot of different polygons here, the different colors. Let me tell you what they are again. Red, tornado warning. The kind of purple, pink, whatever you want to call it there, it was confirmed tornado warning. The orange is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So there's just so much happening here right now. Let's try to find the 2 areas of concern. And my number one is probably going to be down here kind of south of Niantic with this area here of rotation on our storm. That is coming into the western portion of Macon County right now. There's rotation on that, but there's also one showing up south of that into Christian County, and this is with the newest warning. This is going to be showing up near Stonington, now near the Stonington area. That's going to cross over 48, and we're seeing some rotation on our storm here, and that's what's prompted the new warning. Basically, Moweaqua, I would be definitely taking shelter here. Moweaqua, you're kind of center line on that tornado warning as that goes kind of to the south and east. Then we're looking at our storm back up here that is basically east of Warrensburg and to the west of Forsyth, where we've got a little bit of rotation just to north and west of Forsyth on our storm. And then possibly even another area right over Maroa, where we're finding these storms here. So here's what I'm doing to kind of best show you all of these different areas. We have to use velocity. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to point those out to you right here. West of Maroa is an area. Here's the other one kind of north of Warrensburg. That is an area of rotation that we are seeing on our storm. We come back down here a little bit to the south. Here is the one that definitely had some damage earlier in Mechanicsburg. This is going to be basically kind of south of Illiopolis. And rotation showing up on that storm there. And coming towards kind of near Niantic as that moves off to the east. And then south and west of that is going to be our next storm. We've got some of that rotation showing up here, basically northwest of Stonington. So, goodness, folks, that is a lot to try to cover here. And we're doing our best to kind of, let all of our folks know kind of what's happening here. So many of you that are tuned in here and watching, let us know if you're getting any reports of damage. Let's see here. One possible tornado near Forsyth. 2 circulations noted near Maroa and northwest of Forsyth, as we just kind of mentioned. If you are anywhere, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to clear off. I just want to show you the warnings only. I'm going to clear the radar off and just show you the map that has warnings right now. As I mentioned, red tornado warning, radar indicated. The purple was confirmed. We've had some damage here, and orange is going to be severe thunderstorm warning. So as we take this back full here in just a second, I'm going to go to Jacob here real quick. Jacob, what do you got?
Hey, Kevin, so we're looking at that Forsyth area right now. You can see the low clouds kind of coming in there. There appears to be some strong motion on the bottom side of that. If there's a tornado down, it's going to be power flashes in this area right here. The Decatur camera also might give you advantage from downtown while I'm talking. That's just a thought. But man, this escalated really quickly. The surface winds have been backed out here. And so we've had winds out of the south and east that have kind of supported this. And these areas didn't get storms earlier. And so very primed for that. My plan is, first off, I believe I hear sirens in town, which makes sense given what's going on. My plan is actually going to be to drop the south side of Decatur. New tornado warning just issued for Decatur to the south, southern Macon County here. And so we've got a big cluster right in this area. There's been some boundaries here left from round 1, just all favorable to come together here, Kevin. So with that, I'm going to be moving, and we will send it back to you, Kevin.
All right. We have a whole slew of tornado warnings here. I want to show this graphic one more time and take it full for everybody. So what we're going to just be looking at here essentially are all of the towns and cities that are under warnings at this point. If you are anywhere in the red box, this red box here, you're under a tornado warning. Stonington, Moeco, Assumption, okay, Bethany, Dalton City, Findlay, you're all under this. Booty, Harristown, Illiopolis, that storm is starting to pass you, but now the south side of Decatur, Mount Zion. You've got the tornado warning Lake City, LaPlace, Cerro Gordo, Argenta, Orienta, Cisco, Forsyth, all of you under tornado warnings right now. If I named off your cities or you live close to one of those cities, take shelter. I'm just going to blanket say it, take shelter if you're in any of those locations here as we try to nail down exactly where some of these circulations are located. We're seeing them here on radar, and there's almost 2 that we could have here. One that's really close to Forsyth. And so what I'll do here is we're going to look at this area right here. That's one area of circulation near Forsyth. And you've got almost another one kind of near Maroa. So there's 2. There's 2 areas where we could have a tornado here. And this is with our storm here into northern Macon County. So that's one area that we're watching. Let's back this view out. Let's come back to our storm here that is pretty much kind of getting ready to head towards Booty. If you're in Booty, definitely be taking shelter there. Southwestern portions of Macon County. That is our area of concern right there basically on the county line there. You've got Macon and Christian County. Rotation there. We did have some of this rotation down here near Stonington. This one looking a little bit less, but still there. Definitely still there south of Stonington. Rotation on that storm down that way. Okay, folks? So here we go. We're tracking all of these. Some of these are really kind of close to one another, too. Some of these are really close to, basically where you've got one storm that's almost merging with another storm, but you've got rotation all along this. Okay. All right. Severe thunderstorm warning now issued all the way into Champaign County with a tornado possible tag. So in Champaign County, severe thunderstorm warning now, what is known as a tornado possible tag. For those of you that may be just kind of waking up to all of this here, we kind of went from nothing to everything. And we've got multiple counties with tornado warnings. We've had reports of power flashes, power lines, obviously being impacted here. And we've got a lot of folks that are under warnings right now. They're maybe just waking back up here. If you're in Champaign County, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but I don't want to discount it. I don't want to say just, because that could also change. Some of these turn from severe thunderstorm warnings into tornado warnings pretty quick. Power poles down in Latham. We're getting reports of that. Power poles down in Latham. Got a report of a funnel cloud sighting Forsyth. Got a report of trees down in Springfield too. Trees down in Springfield with the storms that have come through. So history of producing damage. These storms are producing damage, and they're producing quick little spin-up tornadoes, it sounds like here, folks. So some of you, your phones may starting to go off if you are in Champaign County. But let's kind of get you back through these three different areas where we've got tornado warnings, where there's some circulation on the storms. And what I'm seeing is a little bit of circulation, maybe not as pronounced. It's going to be coming towards, say, the Assumption area between Assumption and Moweaqua. Better area of rotation now is going to be pushing into the western portions of Macon County and near the Booty area. Blue Mound and Booty, definitely seeing some strong winds. Macon, I would be in your tornado safe spot if you are in Macon right now. Mount Zion, Long Creek, all of those areas. We have a tornado warning. Southern Macon County, really strong winds, and that's what you're seeing right here. These are your really kind of strong winds. Probably came through the Blue Mound area. Booty, Macon. This is moving, off to the east. And the concern is going to be across southern portions of Macon County with that. But I've also got several areas up here. Argenta, you guys are starting to see some really big winds there. Argenta, Oriana. Still might see some rotation there. Tornado warning if you are in Cerro Gordo. Tornado safe spot. BMint, tornado safe spot. Monticello, you're just on the edge of that tornado warning. But for right now, because of just how fast everything is kind of happening here, folks, you may not have a lot of time to take shelter with these storms because they are moving at a pretty good clip and they are just evolving so fast. If you're in Cisco, take shelter right now. Cisco, Monticello, okay. New confirmed tornado warning now is going to be on our cell here southwest of Weldon. This does include Monticello now. So I just said, Monticello, you're kind of on the edge. Well, now you're in it, and you're on a confirmed tornado. So I'm just looking at this here. Let's see what the Weather Service is talking about. See what they've got for this. Tornado warning, DeWitt, Piatt County, public confirmed tornado. Might be near Monticello here in the next 10 minutes, folks. Might be in Monticello in the next 10 minutes. If you're along I-72 between mile markers 162, 172 there, tornado warning observed. It's the new purple color there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas of circulation. 4 possible tornadoes right now happening. I'm going to run you from the newest one, okay? And then we're just going to run down the line. Here we go. If you are anywhere in just south of Weldon, if you're just south of Weldon, get to your tornado safe spot. If you're in Weldon, south of D-Land, Monticello, Whiteheath, be paying attention. Monticello, Whiteheath, be paying attention here. Tornado warning in effect for you. Circulation number 1 there. We'll come back down. A couple different circulations here. Possibly one right near Argenta. Another one near Oriena. Argenta, Oriena. And we talked about, Cisco there taking shelter. Cerro Gordo take shelter. Strong winds about to come across. They're going to cross Highway 17 there. Highway 105 coming out there of Cerro Gordo, Beement to Monticello. You guys are seeing a couple different areas where there could be some rotation. Let's back this off. Decatur, you're about to get hit by a pretty good storm there, but the rotation on your storm more is coming on the southern portion. Is probably going to be more near Macon, okay, in Elwyn areas. Jacob is in Elwyn here right now, he tells me. Jacob, are you seeing anything down there? He's going east towards Mount Pulaski. He's trying to make his way around there. He is near Elwyn, so there are multiple areas.
Mount Zion.
Mount Zion, yeah. There's also a circulation down near and north of Moequa. That's that one here. Jacob, I got to tell you, I've been doing this a while. I don't think I've seen such an acceleration of tornado-warned storms in a short amount of time as what we've seen here in the past, 45 minutes.
And Kevin, with confirmed tornadoes as well from, we were watching something and in 20 minutes we had confirmed tornadoes cause damage in the Springfield area. Still getting information on that. I am now in Elwyn and kind of moving back north a little bit. I don't really know where to go, Kevin, to stay out of the way of these here. At this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to let it ride over and see what happens. And I decided to cut back north a little bit into Decatur, up towards the lake, to not drive into this because they're becoming a little more rain wrapped now. Earlier, I could see them a lot easier, but the way things are moving now, it's a lot harder to tell. So you got to treat these as confirmed tornadoes, and they may not be big, strong Great Plains type tornadoes, but even quick spin up tornadoes and weak tornadoes can cause problems, much like we're seeing here, Kevin. Haven't seen anything in the last 5 minutes. Does not mean it's not there, though. Radar tells part of the story. Darkness doesn't help us see the other part of the story. So there is confirmed damage, and there is confirmed damage in several different cities. Mechanicsburg, Springfield, Riverton, Williamsville, places like that, Kevin. Williamsville, I should say. So treat these seriously as they continue to move. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, again, here's Jacob's location. So he's near Elwyn there, south side of Macon County in kind of the Decatur area there. That's his location. Going to be heading towards Mount Zion there to follow kind of that storm. But he's right. It is really difficult to kind of, exactly pinpoint these storms. You're looking for power flashes. You're not going to see the typical, usual big cone-shaped tornadoes with these, because these are a little bit more difficult to spot. They're going to be rain wrapped here. They sometimes are on the ground for 30 seconds and then back up again. But we're definitely just finding, I think what's happened is we've had this outflow boundary that's kind of laid out down in this area, and it's allowed for just a little bit of extra spin, allowing for these storms to take on that characteristic to where you could have a tornado. All right, let's try to get back in here, folks. I'm going to do my best to look at this here. There's just a lot of storms that are all doing something. That's a lot of wind. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of wind between Cisco and Cerro Gordo. Radar indicated winds there, 70, 75 mile an hour winds, possibly there along Highway 32 between Cisco and Cerro Gordo. And then that's going to be, well, let me see. I'm going to take the path of this. It's going a little more east, so that actually might be going more towards Bement. Some of those winds, but again, the tornado warning that includes Monticello was for the circulation. Actually, it was a confirmed tornado that was showing up there, kind of south of Weldon. Okay, and so that's going to be coming there now between Whiteheath and Monticello as that moves to the south and east. So what we just have a plethora of possible tornadoes here. So this is the tornado, and I'm showing the direction that this potentially would be moving. So obviously here's Monticello, there's Whiteheath right here. And again, you see this polygon, you see this whole purple area. The tornado is not as big as this polygon. That's not how wide the tornado is, folks. A lot of times it's going to be probably the width of, almost, my little arrow here. But they have to issue the kind of polygon with a little bit more of kind of a window of error, so to speak. So it kind of widens out towards the end because will it go this way? Will it go more of this way? But right now, we kind of take it as kind of center, right? We think it's going to come right about through here, but this could adjust, by a few miles. So that's why if you're in Whiteheath to Monticello, be in your tornado safe spot as we wait and kind of see what happens with our cell here. That is kind of moving to the southeast where some of that rotation is located, now south of Weldon. If you're watching us up here in Mahomet, if you're watching us in Mansfield right now, just severe thunderstorm warnings for you. If you're watching us in Rantoul, okay, down to Champaign, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but I don't want you to completely let your guard down. Still, a very strong storm that could be coming through. And as fast as these storms have been kind of kicking up rotation on them, you might get, that turned into a tornado warning. So let's come back down here, look at our various storms, try to pinpoint where some of that rotation is located with each one of these. Definitely seeing some strong winds there from Macon to Moweaqua along 51. That's another area where the winds on radar are showing maybe some 75 mile per hour winds. Let's see here, folks. So we've got the one between Moweaqua and Macon, and then there's actually another one that's just south of that between Moweaqua and Assumption. And so we've got one right there, maybe more towards kind of the Radford area, and then another one here between Macon and Moweaqua, and then that third one that is up here between Bement and Cerro Gordo in the Cisco area right now. And then we're watching up here into Piatt County, where we just talked about being on alert there between Whiteheath and Monticello. I got to tell you, not seeing as much on that. There's something there, but I wouldn't let your guard down just yet. Yeah, there's still a little bit of rotation there, but I got to tell you, just south of Cisco, and if you're in Bement, I think the winds are about to get really strong, folks. If you're in Bement, I think these winds are about to kick up. Mill Mine area, Cerro Gordo just had some of those winds, but now, and if we just kind of put a last 15 minutes on this, let's do 30, so you kind of get a little bit more of an idea of the path. It's kind of taking more of that kind of east, but a little bit of a southeasterly jaunt. So Bement, batten down the hatches. Yeah, it's about to get really windy at your location, it looks like. Several areas of concern here. Weather Service confirming some damage from some of these locations here. Let's see. I'm trying to roll through it. I'm just a ton of information coming through in the past hour. Listen, folks, 11 o'clock, there was nothing going on. All of a sudden, boom, it was one storm after another started rotating. And here's what we've got here as of right now. Let's see if I can, I'm not sure if we've got storm reports here that I can talk about. Let's see here. Power poles down. We mentioned that in Latham from earlier storms. Mechanicsburg had some damage there as the storms came through. Power poles down. Let's see here. Near Latham, we kind of mentioned that one. So again, just kind of scrolling through all the information that's coming to us here. Looks like Ameren may have lost a transmission line to Riverton. So that's going to be, that's going to be one of those bigger lines, right? Not just one of the, kind of smaller ones, maybe kind of a main feeder line there, transmission line. What I'm going to do here is also, I'm going to pull up, there's one way for us to really kind of see what's going on with maybe where a storm had passed through. That's by looking at some of the power outages here. And let me just kind of glance and see if Ameren is reporting much yet. And it doesn't look like we're getting a full update on that, so we'll have to come back to that here in just a bit. Jacob, where are you at? Looks like you're getting the wind there pretty good.
Yeah, Kevin, I ended up sliding south to Macon. And so that area of rotation out to the east of me and the other one down south towards Assumption. The wind, it's blustery, but the lights are on here in spite of the impressive radar signature that's showing up here with the wind signature on that. So, I haven't seen any evidence. Doesn't mean it's not there. That maybe is better news, but we just don't know a whole lot with darkness and these storms being rain wrapped. I want to pose the question. I think these tornado warnings continue, Kevin, towards I-57. They're past me now. Should I go back west to Riverton and Springfield and check out some of the damage over there while I can? I probably could make it over there in about 30 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so give me your location there again. What's your exact spot?
I am in Macon on south on 51 going northbound now. Just turned around.
Gotcha. Okay. So in Macon, north on 51 there. His location. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, you're probably not going to exactly catch back up to the storms here. So if you want to maybe try to go find some of the damage there, you can do that. I'm just kind of looking here. Doesn't look, those storms might be kind of getting out ahead of you because they're moving at 50 miles an hour. And like you said, kind of tough to keep up with them here. There's just so many circulations. It's tough to kind of pick, which one. So, yeah, I'll leave that kind of up to you. But we do have an extension of the severe thunderstorm watch. No surprise there. If you're watching us here in Champaign, you haven't really had anything yet. But the storm is just literally about to come through. Thomasboro, Rantoul, you guys got hit pretty good. Storming over to the Mahomet area right now. But Champaign, if you're watching us here, currently, the storm just about to hit. Now, again, we're still watching a storm that's over here. I know folks watching in Monticello, hey, can I come out from shelter yet? Not yet. There's still the tornado warning there with this. From Monticello to Whiteheath, there's still a little bit of circulation that is in there. You can kind of see it right here. Okay. So I wouldn't let your guard down just yet. It's not super impressive, but these things kind of pulse up and down. So that's an area there. Again, I said Bement, here come the winds. It's right over Millmine right now. Definitely some strong winds there, but it's coming right there close to Bement. Maybe just south of you, Voorhees, between Bement and Voorhees is going to be right there along Highway 105. Where 105 kind of curves around there. And I bet that thing is on top of our folks there in Beeman. Just got a new radar scan that's coming in, and it's going to show those winds. Getting reports of power out in Atwood and power out in Beement. Some of you that are watching us here on the live stream, we've got a lot of people watching on Facebook, they're watching on the weather app, they're watching on YouTube. So we send this out to as many locations as we can. And I'm reading your guys' comments. You can let us know what you're seeing where you are, but just noticing some of those reports coming into us that power out in Atwood and in Beement, and definitely Beement I'm not surprised from because yeah, those winds are going to be really strong as they come into the area there. Power out in Cerro Gordo, no surprise there. Those winds were strong. And it's just the pocket that's right here. This color right here. Whenever we see this color, those are indicators of really strong winds. Thanks to all of you sending in some of your reports, but there you go. Now, some of you that may have been watching on TV are now having to watch us here online again. If you do lose power, we are streaming. I do want to tell everybody that we are streaming on all of our different platforms. You pull up the WCA3 weather app, scroll down. There's a little area that says live stream, where you can find us on Facebook and YouTube and X and all the different locations there. Heard reports of Cisco without power. So there are a lot of areas just checking in the last few minutes that have lost power, and most likely due to this complex of really strong winds there between Cerro Gordo and Beemit. And so, whether it was kind of one of those main feeder lines coming in, or, the power situation here, I think is going to be kind of a big deal here because of so many locations that are now seeing these storms come through. And when you look at it on radar, I know what you're saying. You're going, well, that doesn't look that. Usually you look for it, right? Those bright reds, and sometimes purple colors on the radar. But you're seeing more of these yellows and oranges. That doesn't tell the whole story. You have to look at the velocity signature that tells us the winds. And this definitely is telling us that the winds are super strong that are rolling through Beemit, and possibly even still a tornado happening here just south. It looks like some of the rotation just kind of south of Beemit, as I'm waiting for the new updated radar scan to come across, and it will kind of show us. As a matter of fact, I can show it to you here because I have another source that I can bring up. And so here's what we're looking at. We're just going to go and we're going to do this. So this right here, these are your strong winds. So now we're seeing kind of this orange color here. Strong winds there crossing over 105. There's Monticello, probably seeing some winds. So if we just kind of look at this from the different colors, right? You've also got this area down here, strong winds between Moweaqua and now kind of Bethany, right? This whole kind of area, Macon. But by far the strongest seem to be right here on our storm between Beemit and north of Hammond. So this may eventually start to come into, and we're going to have to be watching Douglas and extreme southwestern portions of Champaign County, see where that complex of strong winds eventually heads. But we're definitely seeing probably some 70-mile-an-hour winds here with that. And again, when you look at it on radar, it doesn't look as impressive. And again, embedded in there, could there be a little circulation? It's definitely possible. Here's that kind of wide view of that line. Big severe thunderstorm warning box up here into Champaign. Storming really good, probably up towards Thomasboro. When you look at the winds, yeah, there's some winds there. Mahomet, seeing some of that. But when you look down here, let's look at some of the different storms. Again, you can't see a whole lot here with the reflectivity. The usual radar view that we show you, it's just super hard to kind of see anything. So we have to look at the velocities on this. And I'm just going to glance at a couple other things here. Pockets of strong winds up here, and by far that orange color. So now we'll see what the Weather Service does, because they're going to have to obviously issue, another kind of warning of some type here for parts of Douglas, northwest Douglas County, southwestern Champaign County, as that storm continues to move in. Okay, folks, here we are. It's 12:11 in the morning, Thursday morning. We talked about round one that kicked through earlier. Some of you had some storms. This is round two. There could be a third round tomorrow night, but we won't really focus on that just yet because we are dealing with an ongoing severe weather threat here tonight. Multiple counties with warnings at this time. Red color, tornado warnings, orange color, severe thunderstorm warnings. So basically what I think the Weather Service has done, so they've not carried that warning, more to the east as far as the tornadic part goes, as we're not seeing maybe some of those same circulations we had earlier down in parts of northern Shelby County. So they just kind of, in Moultrie County. So they've kind of just said, all right, we're going to go, this big severe thunderstorm warning polygon that stretches all the way to Sullivan, right to the Douglas and Coles County line for essentially this southern part. We come back up here, and really strong winds that just passed through Beemint, Ivesdale. I would be battening down the hatches there. Atwood, same for you. And if you live anywhere on the southwestern corner of Champaign County, all right, so they've issued tornado warning. They're going tornado warning on this here, southwest Champaign County and Douglas County. They're going tornado warning on this here. Let's see what they've got. So there it is. So Ivesdale, Pasodum, Villa Grove, Broadlands. You're at the end of it there. So this area down here now into portions of extreme southern Champaign County and extreme northern Douglas County, the newest tornado warning here. Embedded circulation, difficult to see, most likely rain wrapped. Reflectivity isn't always telling the whole story, so we kind of have to look here. Definitely finding those stronger winds that have just passed through Beemint, Voorhees area, Atwood. Listen, Atwood, you're kind of right there. You know, you're right there hanging on the kind of the edge of that warning, but I think there's going to be some strong winds. Garrett, I'll mention Garrett. And I mean, Chicken Bristle. Yes, that is a small town name there. You're right on the edge of that too. But I got to tell you that those pockets of winds there that are showing up are kind of right there north of Atwood. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. That polygon is kind of just barely off center a little bit. I don't want to completely kind of leave that area out. Atwood, Ficklin, that Chicken Bristle area, basically it's just north of 36 and west of Tuscola. So I did just want to mention that. Okay. We're starting to get some storms here into the station. I'm going to try to pull up some of our different cameras. We've kind of left some of those out here for now, but we're just starting to get the storm. So that is our camera indicator. Bear with me here for a second, folks, as I pull up some of our cameras here at the station. As we're just starting to get some of that heavier rain picking up here in Champaign. You can almost even kind of see a little bit of a shelf cloud there also as the storms roll through. Let's show the view here from down below, right along Neal Street. As you're going to see you can see we always know when it's windy when that little tree, you can see the branches start coming on the left part of your screen there. So we're starting to see some really heavy rainfall here at the station. Severe thunderstorm warning if you're watching us in Champaign right now. It is also, I believe, still that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag associated with it. But you can see just how heavy that rain is. Look at the kind of sheets of rain that are now coming across. Okay, we've kind of cleaned, we'll stay on this here for just a second. We've kind of cleaned up the tornado warnings here, which is great. So we're going to stay on that shot while I kind of fire up some of my other graphics here for a second, because we have cleaned up who's under a warning as far as tornado goes and who is under a severe thunderstorm warning. And we've only got, I believe, a couple of those left. We might even be down to one here before too long, but this is what you're experiencing if you're in Champaign. Some really strong winds just starting to come through. Thomasboro down to Bondville, seeing that. You can see kind of those waves and sheets of rain coming across. It's about 12:17 a.m. now on your Thursday morning as severe weather rolls through the area. Okay, we'll come back here to radar. So here's what it's talking about. Okay, yeah, we're down to just now the one tornado warning, and that is going to be with our cell near Ivesdale. Basically, if you're down here near Ivesdale, if you're down here close to the Atwood areas, you need to be taking shelter. Pasodum, watching that storm as it comes in your direction. Villa Grove, and just kind of looking down the line, the Crittenton area and Broadlands. We'll be watching out for you folks too. Lots of you reporting that you've had some power outages. I know in the B-Mint area, talked about some power outages there. I believe possibly even Atwood already having some of those. Sirens going off in Villa Grove, obviously. Now, again, those of you maybe in Tolono saying, well, aren't the sirens going off? Tolono, you're technically not in that tornado warning. Sedoris, technically right there on the edge. But anywhere the red box is tornado warning. Orange, severe thunderstorm warning. So we've got this little area here on the southern edge there near Ivesdale to the Chicken Bristle area. And boy, it's still coming down pretty good outside in it. We got that camera view. We'll take a camera view outside again. See some of the lightning. But definitely hearing it here. So if you're in Champaign and Urbana, definitely seeing the uptick in how the storms are behaving here and getting quite windy here as well. You see our little branch there swinging across. Jacob, you're there with us. So what do you got?
Hey, Kevin, I just took a phone call and got some information from the Mechanicsburg area. Tyler Abbott, I know he's been a guy who sent us stuff all the time and whatnot from the Dawson area. He's in Sangamon County. He says that Mechanicsburg may have been directly hit by a tornado, and he's saying that the main road into Mechanicsburg is blocked, and they have a lot of damage in that area. So I'm going to head to Mechanicsburg first. I think that's the closest place. Niantic is right there for me, and so I will be there in Mechanicsburg in about 15 minutes. So we'll have the updates on that. Live in the Storm Tracker, Kevin, heading towards confirmed damage from these storms in Sangamon County. Also, I should say I got another message from a friend by the fairgrounds in Springfield. There's storm damage up there, and so that's what we're dealing with. We'll have another report for you here about 10 or 15 minutes as these storms continue to move off to the east. Live near Niantic, I'm Jacob Dickey. Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm going to be surprised if there is a lot of damage in Mechanicsburg. That was probably one of the more defined areas when we had the rotation happening on radar, and it was like that does not look good. And so again, that was earlier in Mechanicsburg. And so Jacob is going to be heading in that direction. Again, that's going to be right there into kind of far eastern portion of Sangamon County, basically between south of Buffalo, south of I-72 there. But from what it looked like on radar, that did look like a pretty serious storm. Okay, those of you watching here in extreme southern Champaign County, if you're near Sedoris, Ivesdale, Posodum, I'll be taking shelter here as we kind of look at this on radar. Still seeing that little kind of patch of those stronger winds there that are going to be coming into Douglas County. They've extended that severe thunderstorm warning. So Tuscola, you're technically in the severe thunderstorm warning. Atwood, but right there, it's right on the corner of the county line there where some of those strongest winds are located. And as those move off here, essentially to the kind of east and southeast. Tornado warning does continue into the southern portion of Champaign County, just that little sliver. That is the only tornado warning that we've got. So again, just to show you only the warnings, so we kind of clean up the screen so you can kind of see things. So green obviously going to have, it looks like all of McLean County is under a flash flood warning. They got a ton of rain up there, folks. Then you've got all of the orange colors showing the severe thunderstorm warnings. And then the red color is what is left of the tornado warning. Getting some more reports in here. Trees and power poles down out near the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Trees and power lines down near the State Fairgrounds in Springfield with those earlier storms. Also, they're continuing the tornado warning here into southern Champaign County. We've got Champaign-Douglas County here. And then, again, where we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings, we do have what is known as the tornado possible tag associated with it. Tornado possible tag is what they use. And so that means, yeah, while this is probably just some winds, there could be a little spin up, and you do need to treat it as potentially a tornado that could form fairly quickly. As we widen the view out here, storming up here into Vermilion County for folks over there, Rankin, Penfield, Hoopeston. Listen, I know, some of these areas up here got quite a bit of rain, about a week ago. You guys are about to get some more heavy rainfall. It's about to come through. Storming pretty good in Rantoul. Royal, you're next. St. Joe, you'll have the storm coming to you. Currently just severe thunderstorm warning. Watching out Sydney, Philo, and Homer with more of these storms. But where there might be some circulation, I would be watching things down near Pasodum right now. Definitely watching that. Also getting reports of Argenta, quite a few trees down in Argenta. That's going to be up there into northeastern portions of Macon County, where we had several trees reported down up there. Right now, a lot of Riverton power lines and trees again. We kind of saw two areas there. When that thing started getting going, it was kind of Riverton. It was kind of that first little area where we noticed where we had some, circulations on radar. And I think it traveled there from Riverton to Mechanicsburg. It was kind of weaving and wobbling a little bit there when that storm was coming through along I-72 in Sangamon County. And I think we probably had a couple different tornadoes that may have occurred over there. I have a feeling there's going to be some damage reports coming into us here. Quite a bit of information that's going to start streaming in late. Okay. And, it's midnight. People are asleep. You don't always get the full scope of maybe what happened until the next day, right? As they go out and assess things, see things in the daylight. It's dark. You're not going to, be able to see everything. So we don't know the full extent of maybe what happened over there in Sangamon County, aside from some of the reports that have come into us here. I know that Jacob is out there and he's going to be traveling. I know he's kind of over towards Illiopolis right now, but is going to be heading towards. You're still heading towards Mechanicsburg, right, Jacob? Is that right? I believe.
Yeah, Kevin, just got off at the Illiopolis Mount Auburn exit, and I'll be in Mechanicsburg in 9 minutes, according to my GPS.
Okay, so Jacob is probably going to have some of the first looks potentially at some of the damage there. If he can get in, we're told that a lot of the roads may be kind of closed down. We'll see what he can gather as he gets a little bit closer. But I definitely think we had a tornado occur over there between Riverton, Mechanicsburg area. Could have been multiple. Could have been one in Riverton, another in Mechanicsburg. Could have been the same one. We'll have to assess that in the coming days. Right now, though, there is still concern for folks here in Champaign County and northern portions of Douglas County, where we have our tornado warning still in effect. As I look at it, I'm trying to pinpoint. I'm seeing more wind out of this here as of right now. To be honest with you folks, I'm seeing more wind than anything. Could there be that quick little circulation? That's always possible. But as of right now, I think we've got some really strong winds on our storm here, and it's right. I mean, now some of that's coming into Tuscola. I think you guys are probably kicking those winds up a little bit more. Let us know what you're seeing. I know a lot of you are watching us here from various locations from across Central Illinois. If you lose power, we are streaming. You can find us on the WCA3 Weather app. You can find us streaming on Facebook and YouTube, all over the place. There's so many different places that you can find us on all of our meteorologist pages. I'm just going to kind of scroll through some of the chat over here. There's so many messages here. I'm going to try to read some of them off, and I'll let you guys kind of go back to the radar there as we kind of look at the view. Let's see here. Again, if you've got any reports of damage, let us know. If you're out of power, if you've got any trees down, power lines down, any of that. I'm just trying to read through your guys' comments. Thanks to all of you here letting us know what's going on. And so I had somebody ask, is it safe to come out of the basement? And I'm going to answer that question for you guys here in just a second. And it kind of depends upon, obviously, where you are. But I'll just tell you this, if you're in far southern Champaign County, far northern Douglas County, I'd still just kind of be hanging out in the basement here just for a little bit longer as that tornado warning continues. Getting reports of some strong winds in Sedoras. Chris just said wind is nuts in Tuscola. So that lines up with what I just kind of mentioned about what those winds were looking like. Power is out in Argenta. Again, another report of really windy in Tuscola. No power in Atwood right now. Let's see. It's real loud in Tolono. So again, reading your chat messages that are coming into us here. Can confirm trees down in Mechanicsburg, says Brady, who is on the chat here with us as well. All right, Jacob, you've got another report. So what do you got?
Yeah, Kevin, I've gotten a couple of bits of information from this, and I don't have a lot of confirmed details, but a number of messages are saying that in Springfield, the Animal Protective League on Tainter Road, that's on the north side of town, I think it's northeast side of town, has been directly hit by that storm, and there are animals on site, and I don't have a lot of information about that, but that seems like it's going to be maybe a story that comes out tomorrow with them being directly impacted by that possible tornado. Also, just coming about a few miles east of town, I had some trees down. They had already been cleared from the road now. And then I'm getting ready to roll into Mechanicsburg. Oh, that's a tree down right there in front of me there. I can see. Let me just wave around that there.
Whoa.
Ooh,
all right. Now you're getting into the damage there.
This house here, what was catching my attention, do you know much about the water tower, Kevin? In it, kind of out in the country.
The Mechanicsburg water tower is south there of, it's basically south there. It's going to be basically, you have to come off the road there. It is located there, kind of south of town.
Hey, you see this significant tree damage at this home east of Mechanicsburg, and that's something that you see my images here. Trees are snapped up halfway off. I see a homeowner outside here, Kevin. I might see if they're able to chat.
Go see.
Tell me more about what happened.
Go make sure. Yeah, go make sure they're okay. I'm going to show as long as his.
Will do, Kevin.
Yeah, he's going to go check and make sure that they're good.
So, is the water tower there? I see some lights there. Maybe there's lines down.
That's my uncle or my husband. That's my uncle's house.
Uh-huh.
The flashing that you see. He's getting our skid steer. It was down there for the week.
Okay.
And he's bringing it
back up here. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Well, everyone's okay here?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Appreciate that. What was your name?
Emily.
Emily. I'm Jacob.
You were at Uncle Monkey's.
I was. I don't know if they're going to let me back ever.
Never tried it. I had it 10 years ago.
I thought it was great. So. Hey,
well, maybe it's better.
Thanks, Emily. Talk to you later.
There you go, Jacob. First-hand report right there.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin. I don't know if you were listening in.
Yep.
She said that they're getting a skid steer to move those trees there, and I had Uncle Monkey's for dinner in Illiopolis. I don't know if they're going to let me back in this area after what's happened here, and so we're just kind of learning things here now. So here's another farm. There's some tree damage here. But, we're going to start seeing more of this here, and just a lot of wind and tree damage out in this area. We'll just kind of keep checking in and see how things go. Clearly, we'll have to be a little more cautious with that damage being on the roadway here. I wasn't quite certain we were that close to town yet, but or at least that damage path. But it may have. You were saying it was right along 72. We're a mile south of that there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty close here.
So I'm going to show the folks where you were just located here. So we've got his icon on the map. Okay, so there's Mechanicsburg. So you're along the old Mechanicsburg Illiopolis Road, essentially. And so that's Jacob there.
And Mendenhall Road.
Mendenhall Road, okay. So he's right there.
It's the north-south road, yeah.
Okay.
The corn's flattened.
Oh, let's see. Let's go back to Jacob there. Is the corn down?
Yeah, I can see the truck that just passed had some bright lights. The corn looks pretty smushed down there as well. It might be early enough where it can pop back up, but once those, I don't know if the stocks are that strong yet. Sometimes they can pop back up this early in the season. I'm trying to figure out what light I'm seeing. There's like a spotlight pointed in the sky up here. We're right on the edge of Mechanicsburg now, and
that could be Ameren. That might be Ameren. When they work on lines, they put a big spotlight, I think, to look up to the poles sometimes. You think it's something like that?
That may be it, yeah. Yeah, you still got storms you're watching too. I don't want to distract from other things going ahead.
I will say
still,
this.
2 miles out of town.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do. We don't have any more tornado warnings. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back to Jacob here in a couple minutes. I wanted to show you again his location of where he is. So that's Mechanicsburg. He's there just east of town now. So he's going to have a report for us coming up. But let's go ahead and show you what's going on here, because I know it's storming pretty good, in Champaign, in Tolono right now. But we do not have any tornado warnings in effect. No tornado warnings in effect. Just severe thunderstorm warnings here at this time. Okay. I am getting in some pictures from Tyler Abbott. As we talked about, he's got some pictures of, looks like some trees down in Mechanicsburg, and maybe looks like a barn there. So we'll effort getting some of those to you coming up here in just a little bit. Right now, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Champaign County, for Douglas County. Tolono, Sydney, that storm right over Tolono, Willard Airport, storming pretty good. St. Joe, also up here if you're in northern Vermilion County, Potomac, Hoopeston, Rossville, Wellington areas, southern Iroquois County. Strong storm, but not warned. A lot of heavy rainfall there, not warned right now. The only warnings that we've got, as I mentioned just a moment ago, Champaign and Douglas County, the tornado warnings no longer in effect. No tornado warnings in effect, just our severe thunderstorm warnings here at this time. I'm just going to look at some of your guys' comments here once again, as I was asking for any reports. And so, those kind of lag behind there, with, the chat. So let's see what we got here. A lot of rain and lightning in Pasota. Let's see here. Oakley has no power. Let's see here. Power out in Beement. We've heard that a few times. Beement power out. We've heard about Atwood. We've heard about, let's see where else here. Lights flickered in Lovington. A lot of wind and rain in Tuscola that just came through. Again, I don't have any tornado warnings right now. Tornado warnings not in effect, but still some stronger storms. Cisco has power out. What else we got here? And again, and I will apologize here. What we're going to do is we're going to do two things. Read through some of your comments, and then I'm going to tell who is in the clear here. Riverton is without power, hearing lots of damage. Possibly there, Riverton and Mechanicsburg. Lines down across the road in Mechanicsburg. All right. Villa Grove, looks like Tuscola. The tree down in Tuscola here. Rain and wind picked up in Camargo. Ogden starting to see those storms. Winds picking up in Villa Grove. Yes, no tornado warnings in effect right now. Tuscola, parts of Tuscola also without power. So again, I'm reading all of these chat messages coming into us here. So Tuscola, Atwood, power out. Let's talk. Who is in the clear? Who can go to bed, essentially? All right. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to see what the Weather Service has done in terms of the tornado watch and severe thunderstorm watch. So the tornado watch, no longer in effect. Severe thunderstorm watch still in effect here for Champaign, Douglas. You can see the counties there. That's what is left of all of the watches here that actually expire here pretty soon. Many of you are going to be able to go to bed here. I'll just tell you that, because these storms are starting to wind down. I would say if you are in Champaign, Vermilion, Douglas, Edgar, we'll throw in Coles County for now. Just kind of be hanging out here. If you are in Piatt, Ford, Iroquois, McLean, DeWitt, Logan, Macon, counties, you guys look okay here. But I do want to keep an eye on this little complex that's back here along I-72 west of Jacksonville. That may eventually kind of come clipping down here. But if you're in Monticello, you're good. Mahomet, Farmer City, Gibson City, Watseka, all of you can go to sleep. Clinton, go to sleep. Maroa, Decatur, all good there. I would still be kind of hanging with us if you're in Danville, if you're in Georgetown, if you are in Chrisman, Newman areas, just as we watch the storm. Oakland, Paris, still not quite in the clear just yet. So we will be monitoring those areas here of the storm. So we've got Jacob. He's out there, and we'll go back to him here. Yeah, we're gonna go back to him in a second. He just came into. And I tell you, if we can just take his shot without his audio, there. You can see he's just coming into Mechanicsburg now. You can see some of the trees, some of the limbs that maybe are down. Local fire department there, and so Jacob will give us a report on what he's talking. I know he's talking to. Looks like maybe rural fire department there. Jacob, there. And you let us know when we got his mic back on there. Addison, if you got his, okay, we got Jacob there. Is he good on his mic? All right, Jacob.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, go ahead, bud. We got you.
Hey, Kevin. I just talked to Tyler actually a little bit, and the fire department here has got some trees down in this home here. This is on 3rd Street and on the main part of town where they've got one truck here. And then up the ways, pretty much in the middle of town, straight at the end here is where downtown is. They've got a lot of trees down up there and some power lines as well down. So they are just kind of out clearing debris, clearing trees in this area, but kind of a mess around town. There is a farm structure on the west side of town. I may not be able to get over there. I'll try. Maybe I can snake my way through some side streets, but with the damage in town, it might be kind of a bit of a maze to get through. But a farm building over there has maybe a little more substantial damage to it as well. So we'll try and see what's going on. But just getting on scene here in Mechanicsburg. And again, there's multiple cities like this in Sangamon County. Mechanicsburg is like this. We know there's some sort of damage up in Williamsville, Riverton. Get the right R town there. And then the north side of Springfield also has some damage as well. And Kevin, we saw that tornado pretty quickly on TV. I was in Elkhart looking southwest, and you could see the power flashes very early on. This escalated so fast. As you were saying earlier, I don't think I've seen tornadoes spin up that fast in a long time like it did here tonight. And I've even seen damage reports prior to the tornado in the Athens area. Up there has some damage. Petersburg has some damage. So this area got hit pretty hard pretty quickly, Kevin. Back to you.
Yeah, it really did. And so now we're kind of seeing what some of the damage is. I want to tell you, though, we are getting some impressive power outage numbers also coming into us here. So bear with me for a second. And I'm going to attempt to pull this up so you guys can kind of see this on your screen at home. Just checking the Ameren outages. And here's what you're looking at here. And let me tell you what. If you go back to Jacob's shot for just a second, we'll take his shot there for a second. And because I want to do something that allows you to see this a little bit better. All right, here we go. Okay, so there's Jacob coming through town. We'll check in with him here in just a second. But I do want to show you some of the outages here from Ameren. And you can see near the Buffalo, Mechanicsburg area, okay, talking about, 863 customers there. But look at this near Oakley and Cerro Gordo areas, where they are seeing several reports of power outages there. So basically Oakley, there's Cerro Gordo, Beeman. This tracks right along with the line there that we were kind of mentioning, that there was all kinds of, wind right along that on 105. and that was a pocket of winds for sure, and maybe even a tornado. We don't know for sure, but between Oakley, Cerro Gordo, Beeman, down near Pearson Station there along 36 and Atwood, there are some main lines that are along there, so those could have been impacted. So those are some of the main areas that we're seeing some big time power outages here. That's just from Ameren. And then as we mentioned there in the Mechanicsburg, Buffalo area. So that's what we are seeing here so far. Let's see if I can't pull this map up here for you too, as it kind of shows some of the numbers and the counties that have more of the power outages. You can see Menard County. Look at Sangamon County, 5,651. Now, some of those are going to be with the city water or power and light there in Springfield. You've got Christian County, 419. Logan County, 295. Macon County, 1,024. Moultrie County, 68. Piatt County, 2,734. And so that, that's taken into account, that Beemont area. And then Douglas County, 400. Believe it or not a ton in Champaign. Looks like 607 over Vermilion County now. But Piatt, Sangamon County look to be hit the hardest so far in terms of power outages. You're counting, when you count all these up, you're talking about 10,000 customers possibly without power right now. Okay, we will bring it back to the radar view now and kind of show you what's going on with our. We've got one lone severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag associated with it. St. Joe, Sydney area down to Broadlands. Still a strong storm there. I know just coming into Danville, again, not considered severe. That is a strong storm, but it's not severe. There are no warnings in effect there in Danville or in Vermilion County at this time. So for those, people are, often asking, well, you still covering an area over here? We are. We're still with you here. It's still 12:45 in the morning, and we've got still some storms rolling through the area. Jacob, you've repositioned there a little bit. Are you seeing anything else here? I know it's so difficult to see anything here at nighttime, but it looks like they got more of those roads closed off.
Yeah, Kevin, you can't get into town from the west side here on the Mechanicsburg Blacktop if you're coming in from Dawson or anywhere from the west because of this. Oh, there goes a little looks like that might be a police officer there on a little ATV. There's actually, it looks like some power lines that are down there. It's hard to see. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'm able to zoom in and catch enough light. I think that's a pole there that's leaning.
Okay. Yeah.
Right in the center of the screen. Yep. And then there's been some crews that have been kind of cleaning up back there. And
you can see the lines. So, you can see those power lines right there, right?
Yeah. There you are. You can. So, yeah, there's some power lines that are down right there. Look, I can see them better with the camera, actually, than this. So, in fact, that looks like, is that somebody that's a guy in a bucket truck, I think, up there.
Yep. Got
him trying to fix some of those lines.
Yep. You can see him moving along there, guy in the bucket truck. Yep.
There he is.
There he is right there. He's got his little headlamp there.
There he is.
Yeah. So, boy, listen, and shout out to all those crews that are out. It's 12:46 in the morning. They're out there. It's still raining, and they're out there trying to fix the lines in the dark. So definitely shout out to them that have to do that stuff, and all those first responders too that are out here tonight after the storms. Part of the job, but never something you probably have at the top of your list that you want to go do in the middle of the night. Okay, folks.
Yeah, there's been a couple other folks coming in, maybe another emergency department coming in from the east as well. And I know there's some other damage out that way. Again, Kevin, where's the water tower out here in Mechanicsburg? Is it between Mechanicsburg and Buffalo? Is
yes,
that right?
Between Mechanicsburg and Buffalo. Now you were mentioning that earlier. What was your I guess question in regards to that?
Well, I was trying to figure out what I was looking at, and I think my angle coming in on Mechanicsburg-Illiopolis Road and seeing the spotlight in the sky, there was a truck under there. When I talked to that homeowner, she said, no, that's actually, I think it was her uncle's house. Her name was Emily. Her relative lived there. They're getting the skid steer to clear out trees from their place. I think that's what I was seeing. I was just like, what was that Public Works out there? What's going on? But clearly now we're, the water tower's going to be straight ahead and to the right is where that's going to be, essentially. So, you're trying to come from Buffalo, you're trying to come from Dawson, you're not going to be able to get into town here. For folks who maybe don't know, I'm right next to Abe's Hideout and Saloon in town. That's one of the popular places to eat down here in Mechanicsburg. Most of the buildings, they look fine. It's trees, though, that look to be the bigger problem. Kevin?
I almost stopped there the other day. As a matter of fact, when I was on my drone shoot, I almost went over there at the Abe's Hideout there. So there you go.
I'll be honest with you, Kevin. For a long time, I've always thought the gap between Decatur and Springfield, I'm like, there's really not much there.
Yeah.
And I've been pleasantly surprised with some of the great restaurants that are over this way. Who knew? Had a nice dinner in Illiopolis there at Uncle Monkey's. I ate at Abe's before. So there's been some gems over here. I have a feeling, though, if I try and walk in these places, they're going to run me out because of the severe storms and the damage that we've had in this area. So, thankfully, it does not seem like I've not seen any reports of injuries. I've not seen any reports of significant structural damage, at least here in Mechanicsburg. Still trying to get some information in the Springfield area, more on APL. And we're probably going to have to wake up tomorrow, Kevin, and just see what sort of damage is left. Darkness sometimes masks it a little bit to figure things out there. But definitely quite a bit of damage here from Springfield area to the east, or as Mechanicsburg, even north up by Williamsville. I think there's some damage kind of up that way that's been reported, and that's from those power flashes, that tornado that we saw, Kevin, on TV. That was shortly after 11 o'clock that started things started to devolve really quickly. Is that right?
Yeah, just a little bit after 11 o'clock is when we went from kind of sitting here going, all right, was this line going to do anything? And then all of a sudden it was real quick. So a lot of warnings. Okay. So here's what we're going to do for our folks that are watching us here on television. Policy is when there aren't any more warnings left, we go back off of TV. But what we're going to do is we're going to stay with our digital coverage here and do some of our streaming online or some of our different platforms. So encourage you folks here to switch over if you want. On Facebook, we're still streaming on the app. On X, it would be difficult if you couldn't find us. We are streaming in so many different locations. So again, here just a couple minutes here, we'll send things back to the regular programming here. But I just want to kind of show you what's going on. Again, for most of you, you're good and you can go to sleep. We'll just hang a little tight here into Danville down to Chrisman and Georgetown areas. That little line begins to move through. Newman, Edgar County, we still have that severe thunderstorm watch and tornado watch that is in effect. Or the tornado watch is not in effect, I should say, just the severe thunder. I'm sorry, can you say that again, Madison? Gotcha, 12:55. Gotcha. So we're going to be on here for another 4 minutes, and then we'll kind of send things back. And maybe Jacob's making his way there through town. I'm seeing some flash. Is that a power line flashing, or what is that flashing over there on your right, Jacob?
A different view here, and so I've been to some of these side streets. There's quite a bit of tree damage on a lot of these side streets. So as I turn the corner here, here's one of those things that you're seeing there. This road's blocked by trees. The power lines that we saw down earlier are down over here to the right, kind of back in there. And then a lot of these side streets, about every street has some trees down here. So based on radar, Kevin, and NWSO officially survey it, but I think there's a very high probability this was at least a weak tornado that came on through. I've not seen structural damage. I've not had any reports of that, which is good news. But even weak tornadoes can cause quite a bit of tree damage like what we're seeing here in the Mechanicsburg area. So that's what we're dealing with here, Kevin. And I'm going to kind of try and sneak my way to the east because I do want to get a view of the that farm that has a report of some damage there, Kevin.
Okay.
So we'll try and see if we can get some eyes on that here and kind of snake our way to the west side of Mechanicsburg. Kevin, back to you.
Sounds good. So we're going to go off TV here in about 3 minutes, but we will continue our coverage here online. To answer some questions for the folks here that are still with us here and wanting to know, can I go to bed? And if you're in Champaign, you definitely can. If you're in Monticello and Decatur, you're okay. Springfield, you're okay. We're still watching some storms that are kind of out here south and west of Jacksonville, but those should kind of pass through and shouldn't have any issues here through tonight. I will mention, though, that we are still monitoring tomorrow. And if you do decide to switch over and join us on the streaming platforms, not only will we continue to see what Jacob finds there in Mechanicsburg, I'm going to show you the newest model data that just came in and the Storm Prediction Center's new severe weather outlook, what they've done with Thursday. And here's kind of the thing. We were talking all along how tonight and today it might be kind of the appetizer.
Hey, do you guys have any reports of any injuries, any structural damage in the area?
No injuries at the moment, no structural damage, just these power lines.
Trees and power lines. Okay, I appreciate that information. I'm Jacob from WCIA.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
you. Buffalo Mechanicsburg PD.
Nice to meet you. Is Buffalo okay?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I had Jacob in my ear there, and so he's in Mechanicsburg. Sounds like no injuries.
Gotcha. I heard
which is good. But a lot of trees and a lot of power lines down. So again, to kind of go back there, we kind of thought today would be the appetizer to the main course.
Yeah.
The main course being tomorrow with severe weather and storms. But what we've got here is essentially
it happened so fast. It really did.
Tonight turned into kind of something really quick. I think we had several little spin-up tornadoes that just kind of happened, and maybe along a little outflow boundary that was left from some of those earlier storms, and those storms were able to rotate just a little bit. Tomorrow could be another round tomorrow night. And I think during the day, we're hot, we're dry, we're not going to see much, but tomorrow evening, thinking after 7 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, definitely going to be a time frame to keep an eye on things. We're monitoring the power outage situations. We're monitoring some of the damage that's come into us there from Riverton, Mechanicsburg. A lot of you without power as we talked to you over there near Beement in the portions of southern Piatt County. And so we're going to find out more information there. But I know crews are out there going to do their best. But there may be some kind of main, we're hearing about maybe some main kind of, lines, transmission lines that may have been impacted there. So that's something that we are going to monitor. All right, folks, again, our streaming coverage will continue online, Facebook, the weather app, YouTube, X, just search WCIA, and you'll find us. For now, we send you back to regular programming. Okay, we are just on digital now. Is that correct, Madison, there? Just want to make sure that we are just... Bear with me here for just a second. So we'll check back with Jacob here in just a second. Again, wrapping up our coverage on television, but still here with you online and our live stream here. We've got Jacob in Mechanicsburg. No tornado warnings. Yeah, sure, Jacob. We'll go ahead and... So have you made your way outside of town now?
Yeah, Kevin, and I'm heading back north to the interstate. I'm going to try and get to Riverton and then to Springfield to get a little more views over that way. I spoke with Officer, I believe it's Lingafelter was his name. He's an officer with Mechanicsburg Buffalo Police. He said no injuries, and in Mechanicsburg, no structural damage reported. Now, there may be some shingles blown off and things of that we find out, but for the most part, they were responding to trees and power lines down. Buffalo did not have any damage. His interim chief was up there looking, and he was down here. And then there was one farm, though, on the edge of town that I did see some structural damage to an outbuilding, one of those big, I couldn't tell if it was a pole barn or if it was a shed or what it was, but I could tell it was torn up a bit. And then there was a number of power poles that were snapped off just on the west side of town there. So that's what we've got to report from here. So going to hop on the interstate. Have you heard specifically in Riverton, Kevin, is there they said the big transmission lines, right? I'm not certain where that is.
but I thought I head to Riverton, and then I do want to get to the north side of Springfield. I'm only 20 minutes away from the Animal Protective Leave, and I heard there's some maybe more significant damage there. I haven't gotten any confirmation. I don't know if you have heard anything from that location, but that's in the area where I think those power flashes may have been the tornado actually in Springfield. Just thinking about it, Kevin. I mean, there was from 0 to 3 or 4 areas of rotation in 10 minutes. So, but kind of thinking about where I was, we were either looking at Williamsville or that Springfield rotation. So we'll keep an eye on it here. I do also see, looks like a utility truck going by now, and I see some flashing lights throughout the countryside as well to the northeast of Mechanicsburg, kind of in the direction of Illiopolis. So they may be responding to power lines down and, maybe a trail of some sort of damage from this possible tornado in that direction. So yeah, Kevin, it went from, whoop-de-doo, not much going on, and that line started to surge, and I think it was those back surface winds. The winds were out of the southeast, and the remnant outflow boundary from round 1 that just made it go mild to wild in such an incredibly quick amount of time, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, it really did. Those storms just started rotating, and that's the classic outflow boundary scenario and setup that had it, and why we're not seeing them, still kind of maintaining that strength as they got out ahead of that. I will show you, I've got a picture here. This is a picture, Tyler Abbott, Mechanicsburg. I think this is that outbuilding you were talking about. He snapped a photo there. There's a lot of damage around Mechanicsburg. It looks to be more of the, the EF0, EF1 kind of damage, but lots of trees down. I think a little sheet metal there. So that is that little structural damage there to that kind of looks like barn or outbuilding there in Mechanicsburg. Again, here we are. It is a few seconds before 1 a.m. and we're still with you here talking about now more of the damage that has occurred and what is left of any of these storms again. There are no warnings in effect right now. I know it's storming in Danville, Sidell, Georgetown, but not to the severe criteria, not bringing, 60-mile-an-hour winds or hail or tornadoes right now. Also seeing some of these storms still coming through Douglas and Coles County. Edgar County, you've been quiet here for the most part, but you're going to start to see some of those storms come in. Rest of this, general just, rain, light to moderate rain that is continuing to move through the area here tonight. The severe weather threat is going to be winding down for too long. And actually probably really has, but it may return as we head into the day tomorrow. And so it is right about now when the National Weather Service, or I should say the Storm Prediction Center, comes out with their kind of next outlook for the severe weather threat. That has not officially dropped just yet. I am doing what meteorologists and weather geeks do is, you hit that refresh page on the old Storm Prediction Center website. It's supposed to come by 1 o'clock. Sometimes it can be a little bit later, but we're going to show that to you once that drops to see what tomorrow looks like. I am just kind of looking through some of the latest model data for tomorrow, and it's weird. We could have another somewhat similar setup shaping up for tomorrow that we're going to have to watch out for. A typical squall line with sometimes those embedded circulations along that that could bring the potential for tornadoes again. So we're going to have to watch out for that. I got to tell you, a lot of you without power tonight, and just from what I've seen, some of these may be some main transmission lines, so you could be without power for a bit. But I got to tell you, when those winds were coming through Cerro Gordo, Beement area, it looked like it was pretty strong. So I am not surprised at all. And, well, here's the thing. When I look at kind of Ameren, and I click on the Ameren map, and it says 1,018 customers without power. Now that's customers, right? So you could have 4 people living in a house, but that's only 1 customer without power. Well, the population of Cerro Gordo is about 1,300. So you can possibly even say that almost all of Cerro Gordo without power, maybe even B-Mint population, about 1,600 or so, 1,700. So you've got about almost 1,000 customers over there without power. So between Oakley, Cerro Gordo, and B-Mint, it's showing. Let me do some quick math here. 2,000, almost 2,500 customers possibly without power in that area. Argenta, let's see, we're getting some information here. A lot of tree and power line damage in Argenta, Orienta as well. We're hearing reports of. Let me just look up.
I'm going to stop and talk to an officer here at the truck stop.
All right. Do you want us to keep you on?
No, I'd say mute it. No.
Okay. So, all right. So he's over at the Riverton, over there in the truck where they don't have any power over there. Let's see if we can't. We'll update his location and then show him on the radar, and we'll see exactly where he's at here. So he got off there on that exit there to Riverton. So he's going to be right there, just by that gas station there. So there's Jacob's spot. All right, so Jacob is currently talking to an individual over there. He's getting some information for us. So again, he's over there near Riverton, where that was kind of the first area we were like, all right, and here's what I can do. Let's back the radar up. Let's back it up to where we first. Okay, we're gonna bring back the radar to right when the storm started to kind of get its act together. It was out here by the airport, so right about here. That's where some of that rotation started. And then right there. Oh, this went too far. Right on that frame there, about 11:17. That would have been my first little, okay, look at that right there near Riverton. So then watch this radar signature as it progresses off to the east towards Mechanicsburg. And there it was right there. I mean, that's as clear usually of a tornadic signature that you get, and definitely some strong rotation on that. And that thing went right down Mechanicsburg Road and right into Mechanicsburg, and you can see it there on radar. So you had that, and then it kind of moved off there to the east, still some strong winds. So that was the view earlier with the storms. You saw it first there in Riverton. All right, Jacob, you are there in Riverton, as you just mentioned. We kind of showed your location. You were talking to somebody. What did they tell you?
Yeah, Kevin, I just spoke with Darren. He's an officer with the Riverton PD, and he told me that most of Riverton actually does not have any damage. There's just a few trees down. The main issue in town is a tree fell on the substation, and so that's why
most of the town is out here, but they don't have a lot of damage like Mechanicsburg. He did inform me that there are crews on scene, several fire departments and EMS officials over by Camp Butler. There's a factory, I think he said, building over there where the part of the roof and the air conditioning units were ripped off, and there's a natural gas leak over there. And then into the northeast side of Springfield up by APL, he did confirm with me that that facility is damaged and there's other buildings with damage in that area. So I'm about 12 minutes from APL here. And if you're not familiar with where that is, that's actually just east of the airport, kind of in the north side of town there on Route 29 and near US Business 55. That's the state fairgrounds. In fact, the north side of the state fairgrounds. I had a message earlier. I saw somebody said the fairgrounds got hit. And so kind of some damage in that area, which we're going to head in that general direction, Kevin, and try and get a report on it. But quite the night over here in Sangamon County. And he and I briefly talked too. He's like, yeah, everyone around us has damage. We don't really have a lot. And then we talked that truck stop there. You may remember several years ago, the daycare that got hit in Riverton back in 2023 is literally right across the street from there. And so that's kind of a little connection there. So it looks like we're moving our way in, Kevin, and I may have lost you. I don't know if you can still hear me, but kind of moving our way towards Camp Butler and moving our way towards Springfield now. So we'll see if there are any other updates, see if there's any other information. But again, some damage by Camp Butler, some damage into Springfield. I'm seeing some limbs down here and there. But Riverton largely spared from any direct impacts, minus one of the few trees, I guess, that came on the substation. And that's why the entire town's pretty much out of power, Kevin. So live in the storm tracker now. I'm on the southwest side of Riverton, heading towards the Camp Butler and northeast side of Springfield, Kevin. We will send it back to you.
All right, sounds good. Jacob there. Still a lot of people without power. And yeah, hearing reports, APL, no roof. Is what they're telling us. Some of the messages coming into us here. So Jacob is getting close to that. Yeah, there's many of you, again, still in the chat watching, and I've said this a few different times, but again, 95% of you can go to bed here. We're still just watching these storms down here in southeastern Vermilion County. Nothing of too much concern. Definitely a strong storm in Georgetown. I wouldn't be going outside and flying a kite right now, but maybe just kind of hang out there in northern Edgar County. But the rest of you, listen, you're good. Champaign, go to bed. Go to bed for me, okay? All right, get some sleep for me. Watsika, Gibson City, Monticello, you guys are all good. Decatur. And there may be some additional storms that come through. You can see this little area back here. West of Jacksonville, those still may kind of clip through, but we're not looking at anything too big. So Jacob is headed to APL again. We've got tomorrow to talk about here.
I'm just now north of I'm on Camp Butler Road, and on one of the side roads, Kevin, there was some tree damage there, kind of by the Rose Lawn, south of there. I don't know if you're hearing me on the feed now, or if I'm just in your ear, Kevin.
I got you. Yeah, no, you're good. I think.
Am I on the feed? Am I live?
Yeah, you're live. You're live.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so I can see some emergency lights, kind of the south side of Rose Lawn, and now as I get up here to Camp Butler Road to cut back to the west, there's quite a bit of tree damage here in Roselawn Cemetery, and so the side streets, I've seen some first responders that have been in the area as well. So just kind of keeping an eye on it here. We're gonna probably what would be normally a faster trip, gonna take a little longer as we navigate through some of the damage here. I can see first responders moving ahead as well in one of their vehicles in this area. So my GPS says I'm 10 minutes away. We'll see if we make it there in 10 minutes to APL, but quite a bit of cherries and berries out there kind of on the horizon from some of the damage here, Kevin. So I'll send it back to you for a minute, Kevin.
Okay. You're just kind of coming in there to, so it's basically the Clear Lake area, I believe, right? Are you on, what is that? Ridgely Road, or what is that? Camp Butler.
I'm on the east side of Roselawn Cemetery, so
okay,
northeast corner of it, in fact.
Gotcha. Yep.
So
Because there is a Camp Butler, and
I think the road's blocked by. I think the road mostly blocked by a tree up here. So we'll see if we can sneak around there. And yeah, there's trees down, basically here up to Camp Butler Road where we're at. So we'll probably have to go around a different direction and check that out. But that's kind of what we're looking at here, Kevin.
all right. So there's his. I've got his little icon that shows up here on the radar. So Camp Butler Road is what he's on there. You can see old Route 36 that kind of comes across, and over there by the cemetery. So that's his location where he's run into a tree down. So he's going to have to maneuver a little bit. So he's, again, so that's southwest of Riverton, Springfield Metro there, at 55. And so he's kind of right there between that 55, 72, or old Route 36 area. And so that's kind of the start, of where that storm was, where we first started going, that looks a little suspicious. What do we got going on there? So he's going to continue to kind of maneuver around and see what he is seeing over there in terms of the damaging. And he's trying to make it over to APL and see about the Animal Protective League that allegedly we're hearing reports of maybe the roof that might have been taken off. I got to tell you, that if that's the case, boy, I'm surprised we didn't catch any kind of report from the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport as far as like a wind gust, because that is really close to that. It's also really close to obviously the fairgrounds over there. So that area there, and again, fairgrounds, or the fair coming up here. Just a little bit here. Let me try to show you guys. I'll back it out just a little bit more. So here's the airport. And how about I shut the radar off so you guys kind of see. So there's the airport right there. You've got the fairgrounds right here. And that Animal APL is right here. And at last check, Jacob was still way over here. You can see him on the right side of your screen. So he's trying to get to over here, see if he can make his way over there, but obviously looks like some damage. So again, if you kind of look at it, you had something obviously kind of forming here. And then I got to tell you, as I was trying to track the tornado, it seemed like each signature kind of wobbled a little bit. I think the path of these are going to be kind of interesting because it kind of wobbled slightly and kind of maybe went a little bit southeast there. So if we attempt to draw a line, I'll try here. If you had something kind of doing, yeah, you might be able to. You might have something kind of like, something kind of like that as to where maybe a potential tornado path would be. If if you had some stuff over by APL and the fairgrounds, and then crossing there, Riverton and to Mechanicsburg. So something along the lines of that is what a potential tornado path would be. Okay, we'll clear that off. All right, let's see if we can't get any information here about the. I gotta tell you, they must be really looking at some of the data to come up with what the SPC outlook is going to be for today, because it's 1:16. And am I crazy? Don't answer that. I don't think that the new day one has come out yet. Let me see. He says, yep. No, the new day one is still not out yet. That is from today. So that usually means they're going, do we want to take this to a moderate risk in some areas? That may be something that they are debating, but as of right now, this is the old outlook. So this is the outlook for today. And interesting here, and as I just kind of show you this is kind of goes to show, yeah, we had some wind reports up there in Peoria. Look at that enhanced area, right? Went up into northern parts of Illinois. Where did the tornadoes occur? Most likely, all in that
Here.
slight risk area. Yeah, right there in the slight risk. So I
And
know.
we started at 2% and got the 5% hatched.
Yeah.
They did up that.
That's true. That did get up, but this was the outlook for today, and so you can get tornadoes in the slight risk region, and that's exactly what happened here today. All right, I'm going to attempt to pull up our newest model run, maybe. Give me a second here. I want newest model run. Okay. All right. So these were the storms here tonight. Moving out of the area. Here's tomorrow. Storms out across Iowa and far northwestern Illinois. 5 p.m. line starts to. Oh, is that all? It only goes out till 5 o'clock tomorrow. So is that all I've got on that model for right now? I'll have to come back to that as that new data begins to come in. Yes, again, I'm getting people asking, can I go to bed in Decatur? Yes, you can go to bed in pretty much everywhere here. We don't have any warnings. We don't have any watches in effect. There's still some good storms. Storm back down there to Jacksonville. But right now, not a huge concern for additional storms as the atmosphere kind of worked over it a little bit. We've already had a lot of areas see those storms here tonight. Now, again, could that little complex there in Springfield, make its way down to Effingham and, throw a little fit? It's possible. But yes, Decatur, you're good. We're waiting for here, Jacob to make his way around there into the Springfield area to show some of the damage. He's there on the bottom part of your screen as he's kind of maneuvering around. It's not the easiest part of town to kind of get through over there. It's kind of it's that kind of weird little area there that is between 72 and 55, and there's only kind of some certain roads you kind of get off on over there and meander and move around too.
And power's out over here.
Power's out. So, yeah.
Yep. This stoplight here, the lights are off. This is going to be at Sangamon and Dirksen.
Oh, Dirksen.
So power's, I'm on Sangamon and Dirksen, that north exit there. And straight ahead is the Capitol Airport, but all the lights are off at all the businesses up here. And, I think that tornado came pretty close through this area here where we were seeing those power flashes. And so we'll see, it'll be hard to see damage at this point, but there's some boards, some limbs in the road there in this area. So I won't be surprised if by daylight we see some minor damage in this area from severe storms coming through. I'm about 6 minutes out, Kevin, from APL, and we'll see if we can get an update from folks from the facility there, what's going on.
All right. Yeah, a lot of power out there, a lot of darkness showing up, it looks like. So again, he is traveling there along Sangamon. And we're going to head off there to the west. You can see there's the Capitol Airport there, fairgrounds there, and then the APL is going to be just north of that. So that's where he's efforting to get to. You can see his location there. We are awaiting the Storm Prediction Center's Day 1 outlook. Just dropped, just came out 9 seconds ago. They did not go to any kind of a moderate. You're still enhanced. But what we'll do is we'll read up on some of it and update the graphic. Doesn't look all that different. Does not look all that different from what we kind of showed you earlier, it looks like. So it looks like their thinking is
Oh, wow.
still the same. Heard an oh wow from Jacob.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm at Sangamon, and Piper goes left, Henley goes left, Piper goes right. And I was looking in the neighborhood, and there's some trees that are down that I could see, and they're on some homes as well. But then there was a large power line that was snapped over at this location. And I can smell the pine, Kevin.
The classic pine smell. Yep.
Yeah. So there's some damage in this area. That broken trees is what that is. That strong smell in this area here. So yeah, there's definitely some damage. I'm not going to be able to say, oh, structural damage. I can't see that, but I don't see a lot of police and fire out and about. I just see utility crews and public works crews more than anything. And that maybe is a good thing. If there was structural damage and things like that, then we'd be seeing probably more of those first responders. But at this point, lots of limbs in the road, lots of stoplights out of power here. Remember, every stoplight that's off, you got to treat it as if it is a four-way stop. So stopping at that one there. So yeah, there's a power line down a couple, let's see, half a mile to the west of Dirksen, and on Sangamon there. I'm crossing 19th Street now.
Man, that's a lot of intersections without power.
It's a lot of intersections, a lot of businesses. So I'll be turning here to go north on 29 and get up to the fairgrounds here in a second. We'll try and get some information about what's going on there. But now crossing underneath the rail bridge there, and we'll be turning north onto what's this road? I'm on Peoria Road, that is. So if I were to go straight, I'd get to the airport. If I go right, it's to the fairgrounds. Fairgrounds is kind of this catty corner right here. So
yeah, we got your icon here. So there you are there, fairgrounds. So yeah, you're
yeah, I can see the fairgrounds to my left.
Yep, fairgrounds should be on your left.
And kind of maneuvering slowly here to keep my eyes peeled. I see it looks like security folks are maybe in there just checking and inspecting things. I heard more of the damage was on the north side of the fairgrounds. It's that on a Tainter Road, what that is.
Correct. Yep, that runs on the north side of the fairgrounds and right in between the fairgrounds and APL.
Right. So
fairgrounds is going to be right there on your left. You're going to come up to Tainter Road and hang a left.
just passing by the track right now on my left. And I'll be turning to Tainter Road in a quarter mile.
Okay, so again, Jacob there into the Springfield area. You can see right there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of tree damage here.
A lot of tree damage.
Let me just turn right here, Kevin. You can kind of see we're on the north end of the Grand Track. And I don't know if you're able to see much of that. Then as I pivot up, you can see all of the broken trees for here.
Yep.
Are you able to see that much, Kevin?
Yep. Yeah, we can see the trees there. Top parts of the trees. You can see that exposed wood there, that smell, that pine smell that you get from those snapped branches.
Yeah. So it looks like this tornado would have crossed through the fairgrounds based on its path, because I'm at the Countryside Inn. It's to my left here. And all tree damage behind them there. Getting ready to make my turn, but is the APL on the
left?
You're right. This tornado had to have be as I turn left here, I think it's on the right. This tornado had to be maybe deviating a little bit, Kevin, because it kind of wobbled, and I can see that on its track in order to get it all the way down towards Mechanicsburg, that area of rotation. So, yeah, seeing more of that tree damage now on the south side of the road on the fairgrounds. APL is a quarter mile to my right, but it looks like the grandstand track has tree damage on the north side of it here. That's pretty close to the grandstands themselves.
I was gonna say, any damage to the grandstand?
Well, wait, am I looking at the right one here?
The grandstand should be.
No, it'd be north at that. So there's a smaller track, and I'm trying to think what that is. The smaller little track there, it's kind of right through the middle of that.
Yeah.
But I can see some. Here we go, seeing more.
So APL should be up there on
More
your right.
crews working in this area. Yeah, there's power lines down here, and a lot of folks out and about.
Ooh,
Yeah,
look at that! Oh, that lightning
Looks like
flash!
the-
You can
oh, the
see.
roof.
You can see the
Yeah,
power
the roof is
poles
gone.
leaning. Roof is gone. Yeah, look at the
Yeah.
power pole there.
The roof is gone on APL. There's a power pole that's leaning. So I can't get to the APL from here.
A lot of cars, a lot of people. there.
There's their sign. Yeah, somebody said that they were calling for help to get animals and whatnot. So we'll come in and see what's going on. But a lot of people coming to help out at APL here, Kevin.
Wow, look at all of those cars and all those. And then those look like, those aren't emergency vehicles. Those are civilians there.
Those are volunteers. They're helpers.
Volunteers kind of coming in because those are just regular cars. That was emergency vehicles. So with all the animals there, with the roof off, I can just wonder. I'm unfamiliar with how many animals.
You can't see it there.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know much either, but. All right. Well, we're going to get out and go check. And I don't know if we'll catch you or not, but I'm going to go ask and see.
All right. We'll keep his audio until it maybe fades out from. It'll probably go out of range here, but we'll let him go talk to some people.
Yeah. Both shelter roofs are gone.
Both shelter roofs are gone. So in Madison River.
There's two buildings and both the roofs are gone.
He's getting ready to go out of range on his mic, so we'll lose him. So we'll go ahead and kill his mic, and then when he gets back to us, then he can give us a little bit of an update. But there's your view, folks. There's your view. APL, Animal Protection League in Springfield there, just to the north of the Illinois State Fairgrounds is where that damage is. Roof there off. You can see some people running there in the distance. As we talked about some of the animals, obviously all the animals there. And a lot of damage showing up there. Basically, this could have been, I think, most likely. I mean, and again, this is, what, a mile or two from the airport. Haven't heard anything about Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport and if there's been damage over there or anything. But this was pretty much right at the beginning of where the damage, or where we saw on radar, where we had the first warning come out. So it's going to be up here again, the north side of Springfield. The airport, State Fairgrounds, the Animal Protective League. And for just some of you that, Animal Protective League there, a lot of animals there, the shelter that is located there in Springfield, Illinois. If you go to their website, they're a non-for-profit organization dedicated to the caring for ill, injured, and abused homeless animals and coordinating the adoption of those animals by responsible pet owners. That's what the Animal Protective League does there The spay and neuter clinic performs 9,000 affordable spay and neuter surgeries every year. It opened in 2006. The clinic has performed more than 200,000 surgeries. So how about that? And they're going to need some help here tonight. Those of you asking about, can I go to sleep? Can I go? I heard that question a lot. You still have some storms that are coming in. I'm just going to tell you that again. So here's Jacob again. Just those of you familiar, Springfield, north side of town, airport. There on your left side of the screen, Jacob there at the APL fairgrounds. You can see it, but they're about to get blasted by another round of heavy rainfall. Okay. As I look at things, I'm just going to do some double checking on this here right now. Just looks like rain. I'm not seeing any strong winds, but look out for the lightning. And I could, tell those volunteers and folks over there, just be on the lookout for all those lightning strikes. There's still some lightning on that storm as it comes in. But mainly just some heavy rainfall. I'm not concerned about really any more severe weather here tonight. I think the threat is much lower, but this area obviously got hit pretty hard when the storms came through, and it's kind of where it all started. But roof off of APL, the Animal Protective League and Shelter, that's over there in North Springfield. All right, so we're about 1:34. What we're going to probably do here is we're going to let Jacob come back to us here once he finds out some more information. He'll give us another report of what he has found out. And you can see the volunteers there rolling through, walking through, probably collecting animals, securing animals, and, doing what they can without a roof. But again, that roof, they're about to get poured on with some really heavy rainfall in the next few minutes. So they're probably rushing there. They're not going to be able to, there's no blue tarp going over that, for now. So, again, I'm familiar with just how many animals and whatnot they had. But, and Jacob, when you get back, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you can we shut your mic off there because of your distance for the static there, so you can text me or something when you get back over there when we can turn that on. But we'll let him do one more report of what he has found out, and then we'll start to kind of wrap our coverage here and then get ready for tomorrow's line of storms that are set to move through. A recap of various reports that we had. So let's kind of take a look at them here. And so all these little icons are going to be some type of hail or wind damage report. And what I'm going to do just to kind of clean it up a little bit so you can see things a little bit better. We're going to take off the rain ones, and we didn't really have much in the way of the hail and whatnot. We definitely had the wind damage. So here are your reports. And again, I'd be curious up here because we did have reports up there northeast of Maroa of a possible tornado, another in there, maybe near Forsyth. But I think we definitely got some tornado damage here into Springfield and then to Mechanicsburg. So all of these little areas here are reports of damage. Latham, Maroa, Argenta. Now notice, not as much, or none actually, into Champaign. That I-57 corridor, we didn't really get much. It's all back here, kind of concentrated. All right. So there's probably going to be a couple different tornadoes. I'll say there might be 4, 5, 6 tornadoes that might actually get confirmed once they go out and do some of the surveys here. So definitely a lot of areas that were impacted here. Basically, centered in Sangamon, I would say Macon, DeWitt, And again, Piatt County, while interesting, we don't have, you guys are without power, but, you wonder, is that from kind of some of those, main transmission lines there? But I know we've got without power in Saragoro, Beamont area. So we'll see what comes up with any additional storm reports of trees and power lines and things down. So there may be additional ones, but you can see more of the light kind of showing things. Okay, Jacob is texting. All right. He says he's got a lot of new information coming, so stand by. So he's going to tell us some more. So those of you who are getting ready to go to bed here, maybe hold off here just a little bit, and he's going to have some more information about what's going on. So as soon as he gets back with us here, it looks like some of the crews taking off there, probably seeking some more shelter as that next little wave of heavy. That's heavy rain that's about to come back through that area there right now. So there they are. Yeah, they're actually getting it right now. That heavy rain starts to pick up. So, there you can see it on the screen right on cue. So I'm sure Jacob's probably making his way back to the car. I believe that's an Ameren truck that's right there, passed in front of him. Yep, there's Ameren. And the APL building there off in the distance that is got its roof torn off. Jacob has a lot more information. He just texted me that he's coming back and is going to be passing that along to us here. Can imagine you're going to stay out in that rain for too long, so hopefully we'll be back with us here in just a second. But heavy rain now pushing back into the Springfield area here tonight. There's a strong little storm there. I mean, it's not like what it was. I don't want to get anybody too concerned. I'm not seeing the strong winds like we had with the storms that came through earlier, but that storm is going to dump some rain on top of the areas that just got hit really hard. Damage at the airport in Springfield, too. Just getting some information. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So the Abraham Lincoln Airport, got a picture of emergency manager showing. Let's see if I can pull this up. Stand by, folks. All right. There we go. So this is a picture, emergency manager. So if you've ever been to the Springfield Airport, you can see right there, looks like some sheet metal there up against the sign that's over there. So yeah, some damage right there, which makes sense. Again, near the airport, near the fairgrounds, APL, probably the start of the tornado that would have occurred tonight. So a lot of damage there, north side of Springfield. Again, we're just waiting for Jacob to come back to us here to let us know what he has found out about EPL. All right, looks like we've got him. Well, got him back there. Jacob, you back with us? All right, go ahead, Jacob. We've got your back. If you want to tell us what's up.
Yeah, hey, Kevin, I just spoke with the lady's name is Dina, and she's the director out here. Sorry, it's raining cats and dogs out here right now. Really, really bad situation here at APL. A couple of things. Both of their facilities are likely total losses. Based on what she told me, the roof is off on both of them. Some good news is at this point, they do not have any injured animals. Anybody who has a pet at the spay and neuter clinic, those are all okay. They have pets that are there getting surgeries. They're spending the night. They are all okay. They ask that you wait to pick up your pet. They're going to be posting information on their Facebook page. The other thing is, though, is while, yes, at this point, no injuries to animals have been reported, parts of the building are not able to be accessed due to collapsed parts of the building that are in there. There's debris. They don't want to get through, so they're still working to get to some parts of the building that do have animals. That's going to be in the other clinic. The spay and neuter clinic, all animals accounted for. All animals there are safe. They are evacuating the other building. there will be a need, a very big need. There will be no ability for them to host animals here from this point forward. Sorry, the camera keeps slipping there. So they are going to have a very large need for foster homes, specifically cats. They ask that if you're interested in fostering, do not come to the shelter now. It's actually incredible, Kevin. There is a remarkable number of people here helping, but they ask that you watch for their Facebook page. They're going to be posting about the need for shelter for foster homes as soon as they can. The immediate action they're taking is to evacuate the animals and get them to shelter. And there's a large team of volunteers that showed up. I talked to a couple other folks and they said, we heard what happened and people just started showing up to help out, which has been really remarkable to see that here. So the APL facility, the damage is really bad, Kevin. I was really shocked seeing how bad some of the damage is here at their clinic. And some of the surrounding areas also have damage as well. The insides are just a wreck. And so there's going to be a large recovery needed here for APL. But as of now, so far, no injuries to animals. However, parts of the buildings are still not accessible because of the sheer amount of debris that's inside of them. And so that's the only other tidbit there. So we're hoping for the best here in this situation. Kevin, you got any questions, anything that I may have missed? I did get an interview with her. We're going to have that in the morning show. And I've got some video as well, which we'll get up here at some point. But that's my latest update here from APL. Kevin?
I will say this. We got a picture there of some damage over at the airport. So looks like, again, that's just west of you. So it could have actually even started west of your location there, because there's some damage at the airport that's starting to come into us here as well. And now you guys are getting poured on right now. Heavy rain. I'm curious. Obviously, the storm came through. They had a little bit of time to come and assess the damage, try to take care of the animals. Are the animals out? Where are they all at now? Is your camera
so a couple of things. Let me tighten that up there a little bit. Hang on. Bear with me here.
It's all good.
These types of things only happen after midnight.
1:45 in the morning is what you get here on the live stream.
Yeah. So I actively witnessed them pulling animals out of the buildings, and they've got crates for them and they're moving them. But there still are some in there, and they're taking them to a tent, and then there's volunteers. They want to track where they're going, essentially. So they're trying to move and say, okay, they're out. Where are they going? Because they want to have a list of where all the animals are being sent. And that's why they're not asking that folks don't come to the site to help. I mean, it's a mess. There's debris everywhere. You can't get in the buildings. There's enough people here. But watch their Facebook page for how you can foster. So the immediate need is get them out, get them safe. So far, all of them are. Facebook is where they're going to have updates on that there, Kevin. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so I just wondered, it's pouring down rain right now, and there's not a roof, right? So are there still volunteers
both buildings have no roof? Yeah.
In there, actively in the middle of a thunderstorm right now?
There's easily 100 people. Easily 100 people that are out here, Kevin. I mean, just going back and forth. What do we need? I mean, it was really amazing to hear the overwhelming response of, some of them were waiting outside, and animal had been passed out. They'd be put in a crate and moved. Some of them were inside helping to move in the spay and neuter clinic. Some of them they've got a tent set up that's they're kind of using to man and organize things because they've got no other place to stay dry. So some folks there are kind of delegating where things are going. The damage here, though, is significant, Kevin, and it would not shock me if this was a strong, potentially getting to that strong tornado strength. Seeing the tree damage behind the buildings and seeing the building damage themselves, you might be talking strong EF1, maybe getting across to that EF2 threshold or getting close to that in this area. I mean, I'm very surprised to see that. We had thought at some point today, it's if we do get tornadoes, they could be on the strong side. And that has certainly panned out with the amount of damage regardless. And a number is a number, of course. But, as fast as it spun up, there's a lot of damage that's in this area here, Kevin.
Okay, and still storming there, and still, they're going to be picking up the pieces here tonight, tomorrow, the weeks to come. We've got another round of storms potentially for tomorrow night that we're going to have to be monitoring. But this was kind of the beginning of it all. This was the first little cell that the Weather Service noticed, issued that first tornado warning on this cell earlier tonight. And again, we can actually back up the radar here, and I'll do this here so you folks can kind of see the time that this was occurring. And almost kind of right there, see those little guys that are, I call them little front end nubs. It's kind of right here. That would have been my first little sign there. So here's the airport right here. So this would have been the first one where we go, well, what do we got going on right there? Okay. And so that's what it looked like on radar. Let's show you the scan just after that. So this would have been around 10:56 p.m. Next scan is going to be probably right over the top of it. Bear with me. Okay, so there it is. So you've got it right there. And again, normally you may say, well, that doesn't look too bad. But let's just kind of try to look at the velocity on this here. Again, kind of messy, but definitely some stronger winds. And that's about exactly where it happened. Let's see if we get anything on the next scan that stands out a little bit more. And yeah, so there you go right there. So you see some of those reds and greens right there, pretty much where Jacob is at the APL. And little circulation that occurred. And you can see it there on the velocity. So that thing would have been probably even, wrapped in rain a little bit. Tough to kind of see. But definitely the rotation that went kind of right over. And that was kind of the beginning of that storm that eventually went over Riverton. So there it was there. Picked up even more. And then down to the Mechanicsburg area on the next scale, which is fairly strong too. So again, kind of shocking a little bit just how strong or how much damage is over there.
I just posted some pictures to my Facebook page, Kevin.
All right. So Jacob's got some pictures there posted to his Facebook page. And it is coming down there right now too, isn't it?
It is pouring, and that's just no fun. But people are out; they're helping. I mean, no. So,
all right. So I can show you some of these pictures from Jacob. All right. Yeah, look at those trees snapped off there at the top. You can see all those volunteers there carrying the crates. But this is why we tell you to get to the lowest level, right? See some of the fencing there, all the trees and leaves and branches. Roof off there. Have a wider view. The roof ripped off. So there you go. Some of the damage over there. All right, Jacob, we're coming up here at 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably getting close to wrapping up.
We'll just stay out here and have an update at 5.
Well, could do that. I'm sure the morning folks would be happy. But again, we do have another day tomorrow.
I'm sure the other folks would not be. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, we do have another day tomorrow that you might be back. You could be back over there again. I'm just trying to look at the newest model.
Kevin, can you send me your credit card so I can get a hotel in town?
If you need to do it,
Just kidding.
if you need to do it, I got you.
No, my wife's a travel agent. She'll take care of it.
Okay,
She
there you
takes
go.
care of that
We
kind of
probably
stuff.
got some discounts there.
Yeah. Except for the state conventions in town, so all the hotels are honestly probably full.
That could be.
Yeah. So, well, this is probably the last time I'm talking to you tonight, Kevin.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing it again tomorrow. So,
Yep. So again, I think things are pretty much on track for tomorrow. Very similar. Could be a similar setup. Squall line coming through. Embedded circulations. Tornado possible. I think we may have even more wind tomorrow potentially. We're going to have a lot of instability. We're not going to have the more like a first round to kind of take away the instability of the day. So that is a little concerning. We're going to have some maxed out instabilities, and so a lot of energy for some of those storms to kind of tap into. But right now, you're just dealing with some heavy rainfall over there. Jacob's got pictures there that we showed you there. You check out more on his Facebook page from tonight. We'll have updates again tomorrow. Our crews are sure to go out and probably cover some of the damage from Mechanicsburg to Springfield and Riverton, and all the power outages that are out in Atwood or Beemont and Cerro Gordo and just all over the place here. So I appreciate everybody joining us here with our live coverage. We've been here with you here for the last several hours, going on about 3 hours now. Shout out Madison in the control room in there and punching up all the stuff here for us here tonight, giving you the live coverage that was on TV and online here with us as well. But I think what we're going to do here, we don't have any warnings left. We'll go ahead and wrap up our stream here online. Again, check back on the website, WCA.com. Check back on the morning show. Check back newscasts throughout the day. Check with Adam in the morning about the latest on the next round for tomorrow evening, which should come through at, and right now the time frame still looks to be around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow night with that round. And it could be something similar. So definitely be prepared. Okay, guys? So have a way to get warnings. Stay weather aware. Again, we are your source for everything you need. Here we are. Jacob out there. Been out there all day since, almost 12 hours ago when he left to head out there. So we're going to be back tomorrow. We may do this all over again. We're going to go home. We'll get a quick little nap and some sleep in, and then we'll be back with you here tomorrow. I'll let you know just how things may kind of play out again. But I'll just tell you this: it does look like that severe weather threat is going to exist tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center, and let me see if I can't pull up the tornado. I did not look at the tornado risk, so I'm going to look at this with you at the same time. And again, ignore the numbers on here because we haven't adjusted them yet. But okay, I think that. Let's see here. I'm going to bring you back to just the SPC outlook here. All right, so that is the enhanced risk that is showing up there for tomorrow. The tornado risk. Again, we've kind of got that 2 and 5% risk area. There is the 10% risk that is also coming through in the far kind of western portions of our viewing area that we're going to have to watch out for. So the tornado threat is going to be there again, but I also think tomorrow could be more of that wind damage threat. Again, the Weather Service is going to have to go out and they will look at the various damage and then go back and rate it. All right, yeah, here's that tornado outlook map. So this is the official kind of storm prediction centers where they do their 2, 5, 10% risk area. So mainly 5 for us, just that sliver of that 10. So again, that is going to be for technically tonight, but Thursday night is kind of what we're looking at there for that. So that's what we've got there, folks, with that severe weather risk for tomorrow. Okay, guys, wraps it up for us here. Thanks for joining us. We will catch you here again in about 12 hours. 12 to 18 hours back on here with you, probably with more live streaming coverage. Thanks to everybody for joining us. If you don't have a like or a follow on all of our pages yet, go ahead and do that now so you get notifications when we do go live once again. But hopefully everybody made it through the storms okay. Hopefully your power comes back soon. And keep checking back as we're your source for all your weather information here. And check with the crews in the morning for the very latest. In the meantime, for meteorologist Jacob Dickey out in the Storm Tracker, I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy as we wrap up our coverage tonight from the Weather Center after a stormy and damaging night in some parts of central Illinois. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you later today.